Yeah, let's see what you guys have to say. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're coming in. So as you're joining in, we're introducing ourselves in a unique way. Let me see. Okay. Let me see how many comments we have. Yep. It's coming in. Oh, innovative Ibukun. So introduce yourselves in a unique way, using an adjective that best describes you, but the adjective has to start with the first alphabet of your name. So for me, I'm Cheerful Chine. And then you complete this sentence, I can't imagine life without dash, dash, dash. So let's get to know you. What can't you imagine life without? Exactly. Thank you, Choma. I can see that. Ibuku says, I can't imagine the world without Dudu. Okay, nice. Unstoppable Uduak. Nice. Thank you so much for joining in, Uduak. Unstoppable Uduak. And what can't you imagine the world without?
I can't imagine the world without challenge.
Interesting. I can't imagine the world without Okanubi. Adorable Abina. Abina, hi, you are the summit. I recognize that name. Thank you so much for joining in, Abina. I can't imagine the world without food.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh, nice. So we're looking out for, yeah. So let's see if we can wait a few more minutes for the others to join in while we're doing this. I'm trying to see. Okay. So if you're joining us, yeah, I think one more chat. Oh, impeccable Ifeanyiwa. I can't imagine life without sunshine. Thank you so much, Ife. Nice, really nice. Nina, I'm still waiting for you. So. Like you do. Okay, Wendy. Hi, everyone. I'm Wealthy Wendy. Wow. I can't imagine the world without impact. Interesting, Wendy. I can imagine. Yeah, sounds so much like you. Thank you so much if you're just joining in. And so if you're just joining in, we're introducing ourselves in a unique way. You introduce yourself with with an adjective that starts with the first alphabet of your name. And then you also complete this sentence, I can't imagine the world without dash, dash, dash. So please just join us and introduce yourselves and let's get started. So hello guys, so let me just give you a brief history of what the International Women's Day means to each and every one of us. The seed was planted in 1908 when about 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter working hours, better pay, and the right to vote. It was the Socialist Party of America, who declared the first National Women's Day in 1909. Then in 1910, the idea to make the day international was tabled during a conference. It came from a woman called Clara Zetkin. And this is a brief, let me show, okay? This is actually a brief story of Clara Zetkin. She's a German Marxist theorist, communist activist, and an advocate for women. So Clara Zetkin was actually the first woman who came about, who suggested the idea of International Women's Day. There were about 100 women there at that conference, and they were all from about 17 countries. And they agreed on the suggestion unanimously. There was no opposition. It was first celebrated in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland. The centenary was celebrated as 100-year celebration. 100-year anniversary was celebrated in 2011. So this year we're actually celebrating the 110th International Women's Day. So I think we deserve a round of applause, right? So it's actually on us to continue. Yeah, it's on us to continue. It's on us to continue this. The moment we choose to celebrate it, even in our own little way, then we understand that whatever efforts these women have made 100 years ago would not be in vain, because we appreciate their efforts and we understand the struggle, and then we'll continue to celebrate it until all our demands are met. Let me put it that way. So I know we're all coming in. I'll be reading the chat as I'm going on. So let me just round up on the history and then we get started. So things were made official in 1975 when the United Nations started celebrating the day. The first theme adopted by the United Nations, that was in 1996, was celebrating the past, planning for the future. The UN officially recognized Women's Day in 1977. The day was meant to create awareness about women's issues. And so that's why we're here today. We're here because one industry pulled us all together, even though we might not all be from the same industry right now, but that industry is what brought us together. And that's the pharma sales and marketing industry. And so we're here to discuss the issues of women in this particular industry and how we can help, make ourselves better, and how we can make things better for those who are yet, those who are coming, or those who are yet to enter the industry. So today, we're here today. So I would go straight to introducing the panelists. We've gone about 10 minutes. I'll introduce the panelists and then we'll get started while I still check to see how we're doing with the introductions. So please, when you join in, just mute your end so that you don't have to, disrupt the meeting. Let me see. Did I miss any more introductions? I don't think so. Okay. So let me go ahead to introduce the panelists and then we'll start. Let's meet the panelists. They're all here today. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today. So the first on our list is Ibukun Oluwa Tola Ogunyemi. She's a Christ lover, a pharmacist, Great Ife alumni, 2006, primary health enthusiast, marketing manager, GSK Pharmaceuticals. She's a proud mom of 2, loves soccer, interestingly, teenage church teacher, and GSK Global Award winner, CEO Award on Innovation, Performance, and Trust. So let's give Ibukun a round of applause in our own way. So what we do, how we do it is that if you could give her a round of applause, honestly, you could, but if you don't want to maybe unmute your end, you could just tell her welcome in your native dialect in the chat room. So that's how we do it here. So you could just say a cabo or no in your native dialect. Just welcome Ibukun. She's here and she's excited about this session. So let's say welcome to Ibukun in our native dialects, or you could just give her a round of applause. Just thumbs up, Thank you so much, Ibukun. I'm waiting. If you don't comment, I will not continue with the next panelist too. Yeah, so let's cheer Ibukun up. Let's cheer Ibukun up, please. In the chat room, say hey, hi Ibukun. Thank you, Ibukun. Yeah, no, Ibukun, no, Ibukun, no. Plenty Igbo people here, Ibukun. Ibukun understands Igbo. I trust her. A cabo. More dollars in your account. Nice. High five. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for the love. So the next panelist, interestingly, she was also part of the Pharma Summit that we just concluded, right? Few days ago, is Modupe Shitu. Modupe Shitu is a pharmacist, sales and business development professional with over 12 years experience across pharma, IVF, and medical device industries. She has led sales teams across Nigeria, Ghana, and other West African countries to achieve outstanding business results. Modupe is a passionate sales professional who believes everyone has the ability to build a successful sales career with the right mindset, attitude, and training. Please, a round of applause for Modupe in our own unique way. So to give her a round of applause, give her a high five, say hi to her in our native dialect. Modupe no. Daluso. No, Ekabo Modupe. Yeah, round of applause to Modupe. Thank you so much, Modupe, for coming again. In fact, we can't have enough of you. Thank you very much, Modupe. Okay, and then next on our panelist list, okay, is Nena Ayaun. Nena Ayaun is a senior sales executive with sales and marketing experience spanning over 13 years. She's also a seasoned entrepreneur, a wife, and mother to 4 outstanding boys. She's passionate about steering young people to succeed at whatever they do. She's a Christian. So let's give Nena Ayamutu another interesting welcome. So give her a round of applause. Drop her a smiley. Yeah, Inka Thomas. Hi, Inka. Proud of my girl. Wow. King of interesting. Yeah, I love that. I love that. King of boys. Queen of boys. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much. So the next panelist on our list is no other person but Chidima Enemo. Chidima is a pharmacist with over 13 years of experience in sales and marketing across different therapeutic areas and regions. She's known for her energy, dare to try and growth mindset. Chidima is passionate about the power of collective efforts and enjoys building empowered and purpose-driven cross-functional teams. She's an advocate for diversity and inclusion. She believes in finding a good rhythm. So when she's not working, you find her spending time with family, friends, or shopping. Please let's give Chidima and I can't say standing ovation. Let's give Chidima a round of applause too. Let's welcome her too in our own native dialect. Chidima, no. Ekabo, Dimsi. No. Daluso. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm still waiting for all the feedbacks. Yeah. 4. Yeah. That's cool. So if you're just joining us, we're introducing our panelists. So just welcome them, in your native dialect in the chat room. Okay, so next on our list is, okay, let's see. Yeah, no. Yes, this is Wendy Mokoma. Wendy is a team lead at, I hope I won't bite my tongue here. Okay, at Jessam's. Wendy, help me, please. Jessam's. Yeah, that's Jessam's. Jessam's Healthcare System, a health promotion and medical supply company. She's passionate about public health. She's a passionate public health professional. That's a pharmacist with a master's in public health, with over 12 years professional experience in private health sector. She previously worked with Pfizer, Nigeria, and International SOS in various capacities and leadership roles. She's a firm believer that people should be empowered with the right information to exert control over the determinants of their health within their control to make healthier choices for themselves and their families. Thank you so much, Wendy. Please let's give Wendy a round of applause, a welcome ovation, and just share some love, please. Share some love for Wendy in the chat room, please. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you. No, Wendy, Ekabo. No Hausa person here. It's just no and Ekabo I'm seeing since. Let me see. No, that dialect here. Oh, I can see some smileys. Hey, Wendy. Sanu de Zua. Thank you very much. Yes, so. Yes, so. Dalu. Sanu de Zua. Amedimao. Welcome, Wendy. Thank you, guys. And then finally, we have Ife, impeccable Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi Naji is a key. I was trying to remember your adjective, Ifeanyi. I hope I got it right. Ifeanyi Naji is a key account manager at Upjohn Pfizer Specialties Limited. She has a career that has spanned over 15 years in the pharmaceutical sales industry, with a brief furrow into community and hospital practice. She has interest in patients advocacy and access to accessible, affordable healthcare medicine for patients. She's a wife and a mother of 3 beautiful children, a firm believer in fairness, integrity, and constantly striving for excellence. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Let's show Ifeanyi some love in the chat room, please. So let's welcome Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi, no, ekabo, sanu de zua. Yeah, let's show Ifeanyi some love. No, Ifeanyi, love, lots of love for you in the chat room. Yeah, you're welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, impeccable Ife. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I think we can break out into our panel sessions now. Time is running out, so we'll be able to cover everything we have today. So anyone who's just joining in, we're breaking out into our panel sessions and we're starting out immediately. So thank you so much, panelists. I hope you're ready. Your videos are turned on and you're ready to, yep, let me share, okay? Stop sharing. Thank you so much, everyone. It's good to see everyone's face. So if you can turn on your videos, please, can you please turn on your videos if you can? We'd like to take a nice photo shoot of everyone before it gets dark. So if you can turn on your videos, if you can, let's just say hi and say cheese and take a nice picture. And then I'd like to see all of us who have joined in. Thank you so much, Ejiro. Ejiro is here. Hi, Ejiro. Ukamaka, Lillian, Choma, Yinka, Sarah, Abina, Abimbola, Juliana. Thank you guys for joining in. So we're breaking out now into our session. And then, yeah. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So the rules of this session is that if you have any other questions, I'll ask a few questions, I will address it to the panelists and then they will answer. But if you have any question, in addition to, maybe you need further clarification or you need, to ask another question in addition to what I have asked, you could drop it in the chat room. I'm looking out at the chat room to see all the comments and all the questions and everything and whatever you need. So just let me know. You can chat with me privately. You can also drop it for everyone to see. So that's how we'll engage, because we want the session to run smoothly. We don't want interruptions and we don't want anyone, unmuting to comment in between. So let's just enjoy the session, enjoy the feedbacks, and then we'll ask our questions after this session. Understood, right? Okay. So the first set of questions will be around dating, commitment, and marriage. I know someone actually asked me, what does this have to do with us? Why is this important to us? It's important to us because our culture, it's part of our culture. makes it important to us. And then sometimes you find yourself in positions that are not comfortable, or you feel like it's gender biased, but or it's not fair on the feminine, on females in Nigeria, but it's just the way we find ourselves. And so some of these issues need to be addressed. Some of these issues need to be handled and discussed extensively, because we also are influencing people around us. We're influencing young ladies around us, and we're also going to influence our daughters someday. So some of these things are things that we have gone through and we should discuss, so that we'll know how to handle it better and know how to, advise people, in the future. So the first question will be addressed to Nena Anyang. Have you ever realized that the only reason you were in a relationship was because you were seen as a jackpot or a safe choice, not necessarily because of love? How did you find out, and what did you do about it?
Hello, everyone. Glad to be opening the floor here. Okay, so this question is quite interesting, and I'm sure some of us are wondering, how does it relate to me, and basically, how does this really pan out? So really looking at it, basically, good enough, the profile of most of my panelists, we're all pharmacists, and sales professional or marketing professionals. We're either pharmacists or medical doctors, but the most important thing is we're professionals. And we find that, well, in the beginning, when we're in relationships, if care is not taken, one may find themselves in relationships that are a bit not very straightforward. Let me use that word. I know for some of us in pharmacy school, I'm sure some of my panelists here can relate to that. I remember one of the courses that we were taking through was around us as ladies managing, our relationship, such that we don't find ourselves in situations where, we're being, either engaged or even married by reason of our certificates or our licenses, as the case may be. Because the fact is that, studies have shown, or research has shown that, a lot of women, found themselves in such uncomfortable situations, being that, they end up being married, not because of the fact that they love them, but because of their license. And I'm sure as women, nobody wants to find themselves in a loveless marriage. Talking about this, really, I just wanted to just do a brief, because personally I have an experience, and I'm hoping that this will speak to someone here today, really. It's very important as individuals that we know ourselves first and we know what we want. It's easy to get caught up in this whole love idea. Oh, I'm in love, I'm head over heels, and there's this guy who is out there who wants to marry me. But there's something I need us to do, or I would need, to encourage, like I said, I always like to encourage people to be the best that they can be. You need to do your due diligence. You need to do it and do it very well. So in saying this, I would relate my own personal experience. I was just young, coming out of pharmacy school, of course, the sisters had started coming and all. And then one of them, interestingly, was someone, in short, they even came with some interesting baggage, so it made it all the more very attractive, basically. So they were based in the US. I can see one of my panelists smiling. They were based in the US, so wow, what a catch, And then at the time, I had a lot of colleagues who were being married off, and who are married, being married and taking, moving to the US and all of that, or the UK, as the case may be. So wow, what a catch. And then talk about the guy, oh my God, TDH, tall, dark, and handsome, all the package, tall guy, see the muscles, see everything. My dear, I was swooning, but, we got introduced, and, but the interesting thing was, I noticed the parents were really all about, oh, wow, we can't wait to have you over. You're a pharmacist, this is what they pay pharmacists over there and all of that. I was still my head was still in the cloud, really, because wow, see this guy, American citizen. And the good thing was he was about my age, you know, and so everything was just okay. But that's why I talk about due diligence, you know, irrespective of the fact that, you know, we have our heads in the cloud, it's very important to ask some pertinent questions. So, you know, these people were willing to just come, you know. So the way I saw it is they were like 5 or 6 steps ahead of the guy who I was supposed to be dating. You know, the guy was just doing his thing. Yeah, we'll talk, you know, we're talking married, but I noticed that we were not on the same page. Now, I find that some people may just say, beg, no wahala. When we get there, we'll somehow find a way to manage it. But I wasn't comfortable. Okay, but the parents were willing. In short, we talked about introduction. They had done the first introduction. They were going to do the second, you know. But it wasn't just sitting well with me, irrespective of the fact that everything looked so fantastic and there was being offered, you know, an opportunity to relocate to the US and all of that. I still wasn't very comfortable. So it took me a lot, actually. I remember that day precisely, you know, but it took a lot of courage. And that's what, you know, some of us also need to, you know, do for ourselves. Because the truth is, it's better to suffer the pain now. And I'm sure we can all relate to that statement, suffer the pain now and then enjoy later than to supposedly keep deceiving yourself and then you enter a loveless marriage that is frustrating and unhappy. I'm sure a lot of us here can relate to that. So at some point I said to myself, look, you need to ask this question. Just don't go with the flow. You need to ask the question. So I remember that day, particularly, it was in the night, of course, given the time difference, I had to wait for a particular time. Then I called him. We're already talking about, you know, traditional wedding that December and all of that. Yes, he wasn't going to come. He wasn't going to be able to come, but the parents were ready because the parents too were in the US. So they were already willing to come and do everything, you know, hurry up and just move me over there, you know, and all of that. But I said to myself, no, I don't function like this. I need to know. So I remember putting a call across to this guy and I asked him specifically, what exactly are we doing? Because I'm not feeling you. I need to know so that I can move on with my life. My dears, would you believe what this young man told me? He said, I could move on with my life. That was the response. Look, I was shocked. I remember crying. You know, I wanted a good response. No, it wasn't like in my thought, I didn't think that might be a possibility. It was a possibility, but I didn't think, you know, I don't know what I was thinking, but the truth was, it hurt me. I cried, you know, but sweethearts, I'm better for it today. I am better for it today because I would have been miserable. And these people just wanted me for my license. So basically what I'm just trying to say to all the ladies here is, you know, I don't know how many married women we have and how many single, you know, but at least I know this will definitely help a lot of single people, you know. Please do your due diligence. It might hurt you to ask those pertinent questions, but at the long run, it will pay you, you know. So that's my own story. That's my own experience. That's what I have to share around this kind of, you know, being the jackpot in a relationship. It's very important to ask the pertinent questions and do your due diligence. So thank you. Hello, Chinaya, are you there?
Yes, Lina, I'm here. Thank you so very much. So I wanted to do a survey. You know, you told me to help you do a survey.
Yes.
Well, I don't know
yes.
if it's necessary. If you still want me to go ahead to do it.
No, it will help. Still.
Okay, I'll conduct that poll for you right away.
Okay.
But I know that like we said, it's a unique situation because of the part of the world where we are and how important commitments are to women in this part of the world. It's not really a fair situation, but it's the way it is. So most of the time we need to share our stories so that we can be able to understand how to overcome peculiar situations that we find ourselves in and how to get help. So the next question on this dating, commitment, and marriage topic is around home management. How do you manage kids, house chores, relationships, especially when you are under pressure at work? This question goes to Ibukun. Ibukun, you're next.
Hi, Chine. Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to be here with everyone. So I've got 5 minutes to speak about this. And sitting back, I just ran myself back through 2009 when I joined GSK as a med rep, single. And then about 2.5 years later, I got married. And then I tried to kind of walk backwards to really walk through that journey to then come up with what I was going to share today. And I would summarize the transitioning from being single to being married, like what you would typically call a culture shock. Like maybe for a better word, I would use culture shock. Culture shock in the sense that as a single girl, when you look at two things, that's your time and your income, it was more or less all of yours. And when you moved into being married, your time and your income became more or less for other people, whether it be children or whether it be spouses or in-laws, or your life basically just changed all of a sudden from it being most of about you to being most about other people. And as a medical representative, I also significantly identify that in your early days as a single person, you were also young in your organization, and you're likely to have had fewer responsibilities, fewer expectations. And as you grew older in the organization, your third year, your fourth year, those expectations changed and increased. So that means there was more pressure. And at the same time, that was when some of us were transitioning in from being single to being married. So it was like extra pressure, and together with your culture shock. So for me, I would say it was a journey. It's still a journey. I don't think we all get super perfect at it. We just keep learning every day, because even as your kids grow older, their needs change. And as you go older at work as well, or you go higher at work, responsibilities also change. For me, a number of things helped me. I started to pick that much later in my career to understand that we sort of compartmentalize work, the tools and resources we have at work, and then we want to live our lives like you want to be like two human beings in one. But what had happened with my kids were using some of the tools we're all used to at work. So if you're a sales professional or a marketing professional, in one way or the other, you would use a calendar. You would use you would have some project management up your sleeves, which you use at work. But for some reason, the earlier part of my life or my married life, I wasn't utilizing those tools or those resources in the family life. And by the time I started to employ that, my life got better. Things really, I would say, are the two major resources that either keep you in a sense or in a space of sanity, or in a space of calmness. In the space of sanity, it's protecting your time and protecting your income. So for my kids, I started to use a calendar. So the school would send a calendar at the start of the term or at the start of the year. That also goes in my calendar. So, and that sometimes you can also apply for your leaves around the same time, so that if you're having midterm break, you can have midterm break with your kids, or you can have free days for sports days, and you're not all swamped. And you would have planned it with your HOD or with your head of department or your line manager to say, in 3 months' time, I already know that I'm not going to be around on so days and so days. So that helped with being involved in the kids' lives. For home chores, I would say that I started off thinking, traditionally, if you're married now, you have to be seen as very active. You have to be seen as a superwoman, superwife. You just kill yourself. So I learned how to outsource from a boss of mine who, when I worked in community pharmacy, she had taught me a lot about, look, it doesn't make you less of a woman. It doesn't make you less of a wife. Outsource things. Why are you washing? Outsource it to a machine with a washing machine, or outsource it to a human being to do it, so that you can spend that time that you would have been washing, doing something else, either sleeping or engaging with your family members or doing other things that make you happy. At that stage in my life, it felt like, it feels like, is it like I don't have any other thing to do with this money? Because, if you're in your 20s, it feels wrong. Why can't you wash? Why can't you wash your children's clothes? So resisting those pressures are tough. But if there's any young medical representative or young salesperson on this call, young in your career, it's already a culture shock that you're moving from being single to being married, and your life has changed from being yours to being everybody else's own, except yours in a very small percentage. So outsourcing those things helps you keep that your sanity, protects your time, protects your income. It might take some money from you, but in the long run, when you really weigh it, what is the value of my time washing for 1 hour or 2 hours versus the value of my time, that same time, if I slept well and woke up to do some more reports and I was excellent at my job. So, and another thing that helped me with the home chores are chats. So there is a how to do everything for anybody that wants to be your support system. So you have a support system, embrace support systems. It can be tricky. I don't like my sister-in-law. I don't like my mother-in-law. I don't like this person. But see, support systems are support systems. If you help a support system, there'll be less of a nag to you if you show them what to do in a nice way. So there's a how to do this, there's a how to do that. There's a what to do, there's a chat to do this. So I've mentioned support systems, I've mentioned the use of chats, and I've mentioned the use of... Hello, Shine, can we mute? Okay, thank you. Chine, please can you confirm you can hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. So I spoke about outsourcing, whether it's to a human being or to a machine, certain chores that I would call manual. I would say the use of charts have helped. How to do this. Your housekeeper, your nanny doesn't just start the day, just starting the day. There is a what to do today. There's a what to do tomorrow. There's a what to do when you wake up, when the children are back from school, what to do. So those how-to charts sort of create a less likelihood. You know, we do risk management in the office. We do risk management at work. How do you risk-proof your home too? Those are little forms of ways to ensure that there's some risk management or control mechanisms at home. Also building support systems around you. The people who sell gas to you, you need to know them, have them on speed dial. The people who, you know, do different things at home. So you're not at work, mommy, the gas has finished, you know, and you don't know what to do. You need to have all those people on speed dial, and that's still a support system. Relating to relationships with your spouse or your colleagues, or no, not your colleagues, your siblings, these things are tough. It's already a tough thing for that young lady transitioning from when she was all herself. So there has to be some intentionality around it. So if you're also married to a young person, there's also strain and stress in that period with the children coming. But regardless of how you're feeling at that point in time, use your calendar to put in time for you and your partner, or you and your spouse to say, or you and your siblings, we're going to have once in a month, whether it be 2 months, and enter their own calendar as well too, to say, I'm going to have to interrupt you on this day, and then, you know, everyone is aware. For work, handling the pressures from work, honestly, these things don't go away. But I would say pressure, one thing that I would say you as a young person transitioning from being single into momhood, into family, like even if you're not yet a mom, just the fact that you're married to somebody, you are now become his mom, mom to everybody else who comes visiting in that house. You are now mom to everybody, because unwanted friends and wanted friends, everybody, you are now their mom and their caretaker. So you need, your roles have expanded, and you still have work pressures. So for work pressures, my few thoughts would be to say, you need to, every time there's so much pressure at work, I've sat back to say, what's the root cause? You know, and most times when you think back, why is the pressure so much? It's either because a number of people are dropping their own balls and you're having extra responsibilities to do, and it feels like you're crumbling under that pressure. I would say in Yoruba land, we say, "Ma sise onishe," as much as possible. Don't do other people's jobs, because you may need to at some point, but what's important is you need to call it out. You need to call some level of accountability for all those other people who surround you at work, so that the pressure doesn't kill you. You do your work, you help other people do their work, and help other people do your work. You die, you faint, you'll be exhausted. So we need to ensure that we support our colleagues to also be the best that they can be, so that the pressure on us ourselves, on our own roles at work, is sort of balanced. You know, it doesn't mean you shouldn't help out, but you need to call out where it needs to be called out, so that you can remain sane and you can remain, balanced. So you're protecting your own time and you're protecting your income as you go along that journey. Those are my few thoughts for that. Managing our homes, as we migrate from singleness to being married. I hope that helps somebody here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You couldn't have handled that question better. In fact, it was really, really, I think you shared the king, but that's basically all the secrets we have. I don't know if any of the panelists want to add anything else. Well, I think we'll still have time to discuss and handle, maybe make a few comments. I can see that everybody do. You can check in the chat room. You see that a lot of people are excited with your response. So if you have any questions, like I said earlier, please just drop it in the chat room. When we get to the session where we'll have questions and answers from everyone, we'll get to ask some of your questions, and then the panelists will respond. Thank you very much for joining in. So let's go to, so we just finished handling the first set of questions on dating, commitments, and marriage. So now we're going into the crux of the matter, job satisfaction. And it's interesting that so many of us might be, some of us might be satisfied, some of us might not be. But let's hear from some of the panelists too. Let's hear from their stories and how they've been able to, achieve job satisfaction in their roles. So the first question goes to Ify. Ify, being on a particular role, stroke company for almost a decade, maybe over a decade now, how do you continuously motivate yourself to achieve set objectives? Have you ever felt you were in the wrong career path? Okay, no, that's another question. Let me stop there, Ify, that's for you. Ify, are you mute?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, impeccable, Ify, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, thanks for that, Chine. So around the issue of job satisfaction, let me actually start from the theme of the celebration that we gathered for. Choose to challenge. So for me, I think around this question you talked about being in a particular role or being at a particular company for so many years, I choose to challenge it because one, it's my story. And then two, I think we should challenge the negativity that surrounds it. It really is not necessarily a bad thing to be in a position for so long. I know we tend to get that feeling of we're stuck. So I think going forward, let's choose to challenge that negativity around it. I tend to want to look at it as, if nothing more, it tells you you have staying power. And that's a very positive thing. It takes away the pressure of imposter syndrome because, I've been here and I've done this and I've excelled at it. Then going forward, I think when you look at it in relation to job satisfaction, you need to, first of all, be true to yourself to admit that it is a challenge when you're in the same position for a number of years. I think it's not necessarily about being in the same company because we want that sense of stability anyway. If you're in a good company, you really don't want to have to leave unless you see something that is really, really better than where you are. So I'll stick more along the lines of being in the same position. So you want to recognize that, yeah, it's a challenge. You're getting up to do this, or you did this last year, you do this 3 years ago, you're doing this. When you have admitted that to yourself, and that's one thing I think we all need to try to be, lie to everybody else, but be very honest with yourself and admit that it is a challenge. I was reading something and I came across something I like, as I read different things and I come across something that I think is impactful, I wrote it down. And when thinking about this question, that came to my mind. So I quickly pulled it up. A challenged world is an alert world. I think the recent global pandemic has told us that now that the whole world is challenged, something that started far off in China has affected every single person on the planet. So we're challenged, we're alert. So it's basically the same thing when you think of, oh, I'm in this role. So when you tell yourself that, yes, it's a challenge to wake up every day and do the same thing. It makes you alert. You now think of what can you do to ensure you're bringing your best forward all the time. So you need to learn to self-motivate. in self-motivating, you first of all need to be self-aware. You need to know your strengths. You need to know where your gaps are, because you have your strengths and you have your gaps and you're in the same role day in, day out, year after year. You need to find a way to begin to learn, how can I play on my strengths to get the job done? How can I work on my gaps? Oh, this is a definite problem for me. Okay, what else can I do to ensure that this is not really impacting on my job? Being that I'm still here, it's another year and I'm still here. How can you really motivate yourself? So I think that now stems from you needing to believe in the power of yourself. As it is, you've been on this job for quite a while. We know what is required of us on our jobs as people in the pharma sales industry. You know, you have your targets, you have your activity targets, you have your financial targets, you have your reports that need to be done. You know all of this, so you practically know what is required of you, when it is required of you. So you need to learn to believe in the power of you. And when you can do that, you're waking up every day, you're aware of the fact that yes, it's another challenging day, but because you're aware of this challenge, you're alert to it, you know how you can motivate yourself to conquer this, you know what you need to do. You get up, you go out there and then you do this. You know it's not necessarily a bad thing. You believe that you can do it. And then of course, you have to commit to continuous learning. And the good thing about it, something I find is, in as much as we look at it and like someone who has been on a roll for 5 years, 10 years, it's over a decade, you're still on it. The truth about it is that it is constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. There are lots of things that happened. 3 years ago, we wouldn't have imagined that I would have been at home for 1 year, not being able to go out to work. We wouldn't have imagined that the company would actually require of us to stay at home and work from home. I remember when it was introduced into the office, the option of being able to work from home, and you're like, something you could discuss with your manager and then take on, and we're like, working from home. She's just going to stay at home and have fun. But now everybody is working from home. So in as much as, yes, you're on the same job, you're on the same role, it's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving. There are different things happening, new technologies, new policies. Our customers are not remaining the same. The patients that we're providing care to are not remaining the same. So it's constantly changing. That brings me to what I would like to call my story. I remember a couple of years ago, I sat with a colleague in the office and we're talking about, he actually asked me this, how do you do this? And we started talking and I thought about it and I was like, in the last 5 years, I'd had 6 different managers, or was it in the last 6 years, I'd had 5 different managers, and I was still there. So it was a case of, how do they say it? Soldier come, soldier go, barrack remain. In this case, I was the barrack. Yes, the job is still here, you're still on it, the managers are going. But in all that time, the company was evolving. What I was doing in the first 2 years was not what I was doing in the first 3 years. The basics of it remained the same, still dealing with the same set of customers, still striving for the same thing. We had products to get out there. We had customers we needed to see, we had targets to reach, but the modalities around all that changed. So yes, from the outside, someone looking at it would be like, oh, it's the same thing she's doing all these years. But for me, I had gone from almost one end of the spectrum to very far from where I started from. And I think that's something that we'll need to see in the pharma industry and not necessarily label it as a bad thing. So that's choosing to challenge that. Then to crown it all up, I think one thing we need to do is you need to reinvent yourself, because in as much as you're on the same role, almost everything else around it is changing. So you need to reinvent yourself to be alive to the responsibilities of, yes, the same job, but in the different climes as it comes. It could be technology that has changed. It could be the policies. It could be the way the customers were handling things. It could be that the patient demographics have changed over time. It could be you have new challenges, new competitors. It could just be a lot of things. So there's that need to constantly reinvent yourself. And that brings me over to something. So in as much as, yes, you're on the same role and you're doing the same thing, you've learned to be able to see it as a challenge, rise above it, and excel while you're doing it. But you also need to keep learning such that when opportunities present themselves, it's kind of like the company is actually paying you to learn so that you're ready for the next opportunity that comes along. So I think for me, that's how I've been able to deal with that. And it struck me when I was thinking about this over the last day or two, and like, we need to choose to challenge the negativity that seems to surround the whole, oh, you've been on this role, or you've been with this company for so long, you know, and all that. So it's basically doing all of this such that you're satisfied at your job. So in as much as you've been at it for quite a while, you've come to the point where you're comfortable in the job, you're comfortable in your skin, you're motivated, you're happy, you're at the same time ready and being prepared for the next opportunity that comes along. I think that's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you so much, Ify. Thank you so much. In fact, listening to you, I guess you reminded me of a lot of things, one of which is most important to us in this session, the fact that we're here to choose to challenge mindsets. So I love that you brought that up. In fact, I'd almost forgotten the theme. Thank you for reminding me again. So that's the reason why we're here. We're here to actually choose to challenge so many behaviors, so many mindsets, so many attitudes, you know, and that would help us to move us to the next stage of our lives. So thank you so much, Ify. I really, really appreciate it. And if you look in the chat room, you see that I have a lot of able hands that are summarizing what is being said by the panelists. So please just don't rely on me alone. Just look in the chat room to see an update of summaries of what is being said, especially if you're just joining us and you have no idea what we're talking about. Just look at the chat room. You see a lot of summaries there, you know, and a lot of people commenting. And yeah, thank you so very much.
I feel you on that. Yes.
I'm enjoying this. Thank you so much, guys. So let's go on to the next question. I'm sure you can all see my screen. So I'll skip 2B. We'll come back to 2B. I know why I'm skipping it. I want to go around all the panelists first. So let's go to another area, which is concerning unsupportive colleagues and bosses, especially gender biased colleagues and bosses. And I have a question for Modupe. Modupe, have you ever been denied a role or a position or a responsibility because you were pregnant, married, or on maternity leave, or just because you were a woman? How did you feel? How did you react? How did you respond to that? Modupe?
Yes, thank you, Chine. Hi, everyone. So this is a part of our work experience that I would considering that we live in a very we work in a male-dominated industry, and it is a patriarchal world right now. It's something that I'm sure a lot of us here have experienced at one time or the other. So now, before I go into your question, one thing I would also like to say is that as women, in the workplace, we should also, not ask or expect people to, treat us differently because we are women. Because I think you tend to see a lot of that right now. I'm a woman and I want this, I want that. Or even if the person is not saying it directly, you see that it's implied that you find a lot of us expecting, special treatment because we are women. That has to stop, really. And then one thing I would also say would be that as women, we have to work harder than men in the workplace, right? Because, also trying to, in the process of trying to make sure that, the unconscious or the conscious biases that we already have against women, in the workplace, it's as if everybody just expects less from you sometimes just because you're a woman. So sometimes you have to, work twice as hard to, kill that impression. Now, coming to your question directly, yes, I have had, that experience of being discriminated or denied a role or a position, even though it wasn't it was not, again, it was not said. It's usually not said. But of course, when you look at all the parameters and you look at, what could be the reason why I didn't get this position, you would also know within yourself that, okay, this is what might have happened. So one thing I would like to say or advise would be that wherever we are, we need to have a culture of excellence. We need to be known for excellence, because that way it reduces the risk of this kind of incidents coming up, being denied, because once you've proved your excellence, you've proved that you can even do the job better than anybody else that is being considered for it, the issue of you being a woman won't come up. So being proactive enough to always be known or having a culture of excellence before such situations come up. Now, personally, I used to work for a company where the manager left, and then we had been in the company for 5, 4, 6 years, and it was time to hire a new manager. And for some reason, we were all females that were competing for that role then. And then in his wisdom, the commercial director at the time felt that it was better for him, to bring a guy who was like 3 years, who came into the company 3 years after we did, or after I did, to come and be a sales manager, and was working in another region, right? To come and be our sales manager. And then it occurred to me that personally, I think, all of us that competed for that role, we had already won different awards in the same company. So our performance was not in doubt. It was very clear that, any of us could have been given the job. And then, a younger, a guy that had not spent as much time as we had, and it was not that it was performing better than we were doing, was brought in to become our manager. So now when this happened to me, and of course this can still happen to anyone, there are a lot of ways to react to that. And I think the way to react is there's not a one size fits all way to react. I'll be very upfront and say that. But now, what did I do? What I did was I went to God basically, and I prayed for direction. Now, this is not a religious forum, but I believe that we all have some. Each and every one of us have some kind of spiritual affiliation or connection that we believe in. And I looked at that situation then, and my prayer was that, God, I want you to direct me. Do I stay in this company, or do I leave, or what do I do? I don't have all the answers. And then within another month or so, I applied for another job, like a joke, and I got the job. And for me, it was God's way of telling me that, okay, I think it's time for you to move on. And now looking back, was it a good decision I took to have left that company then? Absolutely, because I was from then on, and then I was exposed to, I changed my job again. I was given responsibilities that even I, could not have imagined, and looking back, it's still something that I think about. And I said, well, that decision then was sort of it was God at work, because most likely if that had not happened, maybe I would still be there, who knows? So to the point I'm really trying to make is that as women, first of all, we shouldn't expect any special treatments in our workplace because we are women. And of course, having a culture of excellence, being known for excellence, being always making sure that your work is top notch, like it's super top notch. As women, sometimes you have to work twice as hard as the men in your team to get the kind of recognition that would probably naturally come to men. But again, having the emotional intelligence to understand that's of course because of the kind of world we live in where it is what it is, right? And then having your own tools and your own strategy to, make sure that whenever conversations about performance come up, and of course working hard, not only working hard these days, working smartly as well, because you also, as you're doing your work, you also want to make sure that the right people know that you are doing your work well, and of course making sure that you are being seen as a professional, at all times. Being in control of your emotions at work. I know as women sometimes we tend to be emotional, but really it's a battlefield really. As much as possible, you want to keep a professional a professional standard. You want to be professional at all times, and of course you want to always have a culture and have a reputation of excellence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Modipe. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I think you were, I know, I have heard that story before, and I know I've experienced that before, and I really understood how you felt. However, I wanted to just ask you part B, if you don't mind. How would you advise someone who probably said that prayer, like you said, and heard no, or didn't get an opportunity like you did? What would you advise that kind of a person? Would you advise that kind of person to still walk away or just hang in there?
So honestly, I would never advise anyone to leave your job because of one person or because of one incident. So if I had not gotten another job, walking away angrily would have been an emotional reaction, right? Because I actually was truly enjoying my job and I was doing very well, right? And there are times when in the professional space, in the workspace, some decisions are made that they're not palatable to you. You don't enjoy that decision. But I'm a firm believer in always seeing the positive side. If I didn't get another job, it wouldn't have that occurrence would not have been a reason for me to walk away, because it simply meant I was throwing my career away because of one incident. So I wouldn't have done that. So if that kind of scenario is on the table, my advice would be hanging there. Keep showing your having a culture of excellence, making sure that when you do have to leave, right? And I think that things just have a way of working out really. Either where you are or maybe when you need to move. Once you are putting in your best, you're getting your results, your reputation is you are known for excellence, regardless of where you are, you'll be fine, really. That's what I think.
Thank you so much, Modipe. Thank you so very much. I think the same too. I'm sure most of us agree with her too. Let me add in continuation to that, or rather in addition to that, this question concerning unsupportive colleagues and bosses. In some situations, I'm sure it's not just the men who are being gender biased. In some situations, it might actually be female bosses being gender biased. I think I've seen situations like that too, where you have a female in that particular position being biased about who to hire and who to. How would you manage, or how would you understand or cope with an unsupportive female colleague or boss? How would you advise us to manage such a person, a female or a Wendy?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I choose to challenge every mindset and limiting stereotype that affects women to soar. So I want to thank everyone who has spoken today, beginning from Nina to Ibuku, to Ifeanyi, to Modupe. I want to thank you, and I'm going to ride on your back. So let's go along. The question is quite interesting. I'll start with an interesting story. Okay, it's interesting to me. I hope you find it interesting. I was at a certain job and I wanted to, transit to another job and learn another skill. During the interview, the HR happens to be a female. Most HRs we know are female, I guess, but she wasn't present. Now in the panel, there were other people, including females. And the question was never asked, are you pregnant? Do you want to have another baby? Because I've gone to some interviews where they'll tell me, in fact, they told me one particular woman that if you've not completed your family sites, I think you should go and complete your family sites before you come back. You can imagine. And talking about what Modupe said about we should be excellent and we have to work twice as hard. That's the reality. But the truth again is that's one of the things we are trying to close the gap for. Exactly. So I'm not going to stand up and just watch you try to tell me you're going to work twice as hard. The man is there playing Candy Crush and I'm working twice as hard. No way. He's pretending his perception. He's pretending to be active on his keyboard in the office playing Candy Crush. And then I'm working hard and you're telling me that, come on, babe, can we be real? I want to be real. Though. If I don't want to be real, I will just silently close my mouth and say the things you want to hear. Can I be real? Can I just have some thumbs up if you want me to be real here?
Be real, girl. We're real here.
Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. One is enough, but I've gotten more than that. Thank you. So basically, when I was offered the job, and at the time, I was, I think I was about I passed my first trimester, but because of my physique and what I wear or whatever, you won't even know that I'm pregnant. So, but I later told, it wasn't even asked to start with. So I told one of the women who was supposed to be my external boss on dotted lines, a mature woman, that I'm pregnant, And then when they sent you, they always send you for all this, what's that thing called, tests you do, employee kind of health check and all that. So the physician, occupational health physician, then called me and said, and he said it in Igbo, I said, and I asked him, let me interpret. He said, there's some things you don't hide. And I asked him, what are we hiding? I asked him the way he's saying, but what do you mean? What are we hiding? Saying that he will have to tell the whatever. I said, of course. Nobody asked me that in the interview. I'm pregnant. It will show at the right time. So it wasn't asked. And it is, as you are a doctor, it is not a pathological condition. I'm a pharmacist, you're a doctor. It is actually a physiological condition. So I really don't see how that will affect my competence and ability to deliver. That's what I told him. And I said, I just have to introduce, we're Africans, right? You can see my own form of Okonje Wala. That's the best I can do. So he said, okay, that he likes me or whatever. But now fast forward, I was given the job and everything. Then the HR now calls me on the phone and says, hi, am I speaking to Wendy? I said, yes. Who am I speaking with? She said, her name is blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, I hear you are the HR. Nice to finally hear your voice. And she says, why didn't you say you were pregnant at the interview? I said, that was a pregnant pause, actually. Yes, I was pregnant, but this one was a pregnant pause because I was like, hello, where is that coming from? Aren't you a woman? And your HR. I thought there's human in human resources. So why are you asking me like there's no human? So when I calmed down and got my thoughts, like Modupe said, don't be emotional, don't just respond. Because I was angry, to be honest. So I said to her, I wasn't asked. And nobody asked me that question. She said, maybe she was there at the interview, she would have seen and should have pointed out that I was pregnant. I'm like, okay. And how would that have stopped my ability to deliver? The same thing I told the doctor. And within 3 weeks, I said, I'm sure you haven't been around, but I'm sure within 3 weeks, my review has shown you what I have been doing. She was like, no, but you should have said it. I said, well, the policy, don't ask, don't tell. And again, I don't see what was wrong. So she felt, she already, I could sense that I may have issue with this particular HR, but well, not to worry. Back to Modupe, she said, excellence. So I got there and then I came with what I had learned in my former place, plus my value. Nina said something about a self-awakening. She said, she had to ask herself, what are we doing? So I had to ask myself, what do I want to achieve here? I have a mentor who said to me that when an organization's objective does not suit yours, then you better begin to think about moving, because it's all about, or if it suits yours, you find how you evolve and align with it. But the moment it doesn't, then you really need to start thinking about your values. If you want to change your objective to what they have now or something like that. So personal values, all these are very important. And so I told myself I was going to make a mark. She's told me how they wouldn't give me maternity leave, or I'll take maternity leave without pay. I'm like, am I going to now give birth in the workplace and have my baby? So I'm like, I will not go on maternity leave, whatever it is. So like, okay, yes, you go without a court or something, or payment policy, this policy, that. I said, okay, fine. But Modupe said something. We all have our frustrations. I prayed to God. I said, God, this lady is not being fair to me. She doesn't even know me. But when she finished saying all she had to say, I made a personal decision to stand out, to change the culture, because the workplace culture I saw was a bit different. The values were just as good as being on the wall, but were not being lived. Fast forward, at the time, I want to tell you that about 6 months later, I went on maternity leave. I got my full pay. They came to even visit me, and she herself called me. I was like, wow, how are you? This is because my work spoke for me. What I did, the transformation, they saw it. And I always carried myself in a way that even I have to go for maternity, my antenatal, I will tell them, I have to go for antenatal at this time and that time. And again, it's my right. It's in the policy. So yes, we are women, don't expect to be treated differently. But when it comes to certain physiological things, we should be. Men don't get pregnant. So you can't expect me that I should forfeit my antenatal. So I have to put my foot down. Guess what? I opened doors for other women, even no matter their cadre, about when they were pregnant and how they were taking care. Because listen, you can't tell a woman that you're supposed to come at a time. So I arranged my antenatal time. So you make her work half day on her antenatal days. She's pregnant. And then there's an opportunity for, if you want to extend the number of maternity, normal is usually I think 3 months. But if you want more than that, then go ahead and you can have a half pay or something like that. So such things began to come into place, provided you were able to perform as so. So that's talking about when I have somebody that's unsupportive. But I think I've used up my 5 minutes, but I want to say something. What I want to say is it's about time we have a reality check. While we can actually point fingers, all those bossy queen bees, mean women, mean bosses, blah, blah, blah. Can we have a reality check that as women, I don't know whether it's a narrative or whether it's the hormones, or I think I probably do a research on that. There seems to be this, when a friend shares it's there sort of, for some reason, you hear some good news and maybe something you wanted, you haven't yet gotten it. Just a little bit of green color that comes in like bile, they're just being released. Can I be honest here? Stop forming, So it's your decision to choose to challenge that bile, to say, hey, go back to where you're coming from. Or you allow it to spread and make you ruin what would have been a good friendship or relationship. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because a lot of us, we need to just, like Nina said, come to your awakening. This person who's treating me like this, let me introspect and ask myself, how do I, what's the vibe I give out to? Am I really happy, or do I feel when someone is promoted? How do I feel? Because competition is good when it is healthy. But when it's unhealthy and then begins to have that tint of green, like perspective, start having jealousy, envy, that you now say, come on, for this person should leave this company. I want this person dead. I want this person kidnapped. I mean, that's the darker side, very dark shade. Yes, but that's just the truth. We need to, instead of laughing, we need to be real with ourselves that there's a possibility of this. And so the bile is coming, I don't want it. Instead, I can change the narrative, like if anyone said. I've challenged that thought in my mind. I've changed the narrative, like, oh, how were you able to advance to this and this? Share with me. Let that be a growth mind. You could actually have like we have WhatsApp groups and different things, kind of a learning group, a growth mindset chat with this person. And please, let me add that, let personal be personal, let professional be professional. Because one of the things that causes some of these issues is when we now don't understand boundaries between personal and professional. And it's not exactly our fault, but let's be aware now. Now, I read about one professor, I think what's her name? I think Barbara Fanning or Tani or something like that. She said something that even the way we are brought up as females and males, just think about it. For those who are married, those who have partners, their husbands, you want to give them, you just the way you use your girlfriend. And be honest now, I beg. You give your girlfriend the gist to the bottom. You even put all the ice cream, everything on top. Or the men, once they're going that way, they've snapped out the fact they're not with you. That's because, according to her, she said, women rapport talk, building rapport. So we rapport talk, while men report talk. What's the difference? We have a rapport talk in the sense that there's a social connection, there's emotional connection. You feel me, sis? Yay, hallelujah. You go like, sis. The guy is like, headache? Oh, I think we have a, what do you call it? Yep, ibuprofen or Panadol. He's already, his report talk. So there's exchange of information without that social connection and emotional thing, So this may also help us in a relationship, but then it's good and it's bad. So when you're having this discussion with your friend or whoever is not being supportive, who you feel, because I want to look at it in 3 different ways. Now I've talked about my boss. She was my boss, the HR person. And then I spoke to her, we became friends. I even began I began a mentorship program we never had there. I made them to begin to recognize March 8th for International Women's Day. And then she later opened up and said to me, Wendy, I wish I had a boss like you. But this was somebody who felt we were like this, you know. And even when I left with her, she's happy to give me great recommendations. But it didn't come easy. That's my senior, my superior. So we built it, but I had to own my space and spin my story the way, like like Ify said, positively. Now, what if it's a subordinate or a colleague? A colleague, like I said, you have that conversation with the person. You can actually say, okay, I feel maybe this person, you feel like this person is shady in one kind, doesn't give you information, was there, doesn't give you information, and another person doesn't give you because the person feels, oh, your friend was there, your friend in quote, because the person gists with you. But this person now knows that, okay, if I don't give you this information because I'm being competitive, that's the buyer part of it now. So I will now use that information I have over her. It's always good for me. I believe that you can have that talk with the person. I always tell myself, don't break your head over what is not within your control. I try to do some diagnosis. Somebody talked about it. What is the underlying thing? Is it an innate thing? Is this person feeling insecure? Is this kind of queen bee thing that happens that people now say, okay, because of the story, like I always say, people see things. I went in my classes was pink now. Everybody's shade will be pink. So maybe my background, I think even the olden days now, when how many women married to one husband, they'll be fighting for attention. So just imagine now that maybe I'm just trying to bring it down to this thing, and your work or that position is the husband in quotes. They're fighting and some people play nasty. So you have to get professional when they start to get personal. So you, first of all, what you're divulging is important. In your sisterly talk, remember that certain things are no-go area. Decide for yourself. I'm not going to say this because tomorrow those things come back, maybe used against you. For this same colleague, ask yourself, is it innate? But don't do that after, if you have not yet done your own introspection, like I said, let's find out for ourselves first. Then is this innate with this person? Or could it be that this person has a confidence issue? So that way I can come and let you understand. I can even help you to pick up some other skills and make you understand that, listen, we're not competing. I'm trying to teach you collaboration over competing because the sky is so wide. I've not heard of any planes, colliding. So it's now my way to try to see if I can change your mindset. No. But again, like I said, I have to work on what is within my control. If I can't change your mindset, what do I do?
No, Amanda,
I'll look at how I can avoid you. Now, the other part is, what if it's a subordinate who is supposed to send the reports on time, who knows that their work feeds into yours? But you also have seen that this person, if it's a guy or a guy, she sends on time, smiles, giggles, hey, and all the rest. When it comes to you, the pictures in the room and all this kind of stuff, attitude. Now, how are you going to get this person? Or maybe you have a boss who targets you and tells you, I've been there, I've done that. Now you're the only one that is married. I'm the one that has children. These are sort of things that we have to, challenge. These are stereotypes within us we have to challenge. So this your boss tends to give you the work. I'm using 2 examples. Please go with me on that. Over the weekend, maybe it's already Friday, and then gives and says, send it on Monday. Haba, so I should work all weekend now. Somebody talked about, I think Ibiku said, how somebody puts stuff on your shoulder. So being proactive, I would say, okay, I found out that, is it a one-off? I'll ask myself, is it a one-off incident? If it's one-off, okay, I may forgive. Even when we're checking blood pressure, they tell us after 3 times, you probably have hypertension, isn't it? So if my own diagnosis on standard, it's substandard, I haven't received anyway, I would just ask myself, if this happens like 3 times at a particular time, I will say, okay, this is a pattern. And since I know it's a Friday, she's coming to tell me this. On Wednesdays, I was like, but would you want to have so report on this? Is there any particular report? So, very nice, professional, and you are being proactive. Oh, I just thought, could there be anything? So that you have told yourself that time. I remember when I worked in marketing and the rest as a rep, I began my career as a rep. I realized that because of the phone and the laptop, they can talk to you, your boss can take you any time. And I kind of built my boundary. After work close, I also make sure, like Bujuka said, be very excellent. I know when I start work on when I signed with you. And when the work is closed, I do was shut off that official phone they give you. And I don't look at my mails. I don't see it. I don't. So, it is, I say, my phone. If I did know that when they call that number, it's not going. And then you will feel somehow calling my personal number at a particular time because you can't tell me that you didn't put credit there for me. Haba. So that is, just working smartly. I'm creating my boundary. Somehow in their minds, they understood, okay, after 6 o'clock, don't call Wendy. She's not going to pick it. You won't even reach her. Unless it's an emergency and a certain colleagues, they will now know, okay, this person is close. We'll tell her that, and that person will also, that your colleague also knows, because we are private, we are friends, but we also need the boundary. Oh, please, I cannot tell when, okay, so I've heard you, but I'm not sure I'll be able to reach her. It's as simple as that. Person may call you later, people will laugh about it, but they didn't reach you officially. Did you get it? So I'm just saying that whether it's your superior, your colleague, or your subordinate who reports you, whose work feeds into you and it doesn't, you can actually make a person, okay, let's have a performance improvement plan. I see this potential in you, but I think that you are actually not maximizing your potential. And I believe that you can get to this position. I've painted a picture for the person. And that has also spoken to your leadership skills. You have chosen not to be low because they're being personal. She's bitchy. She's always screeching, always talking. And she professional person. She do this. Yes, I'm professional. I own my story. It's positive, like she told us, if you said it. So my point is this: irrespective of whatever level the person is, let's find our own unique situations where we can get them. Now, I've told you that I painted that picture. I'm telling you what I did to somebody. I painted the picture for her because she was sending her reports late. And it was now smearing my own competence, as it were. Perception is key, it's important. Meanwhile, the ones who are playing Candy Crush, they're sending their own to them fast. And it's looking as if they were actually working, not playing Candy Crush. Thank you. I just wanted to laugh, but on the side, that's true. Actually, someone's supposed boss doing that. I'm like, oh my goodness. So you see, her point taking was that when I shared with her what she can be, and this way she's doing it, which the other colleagues, mates, whatever it is happening between them, don't tell her. She saw her potential and began to send it on time, and even began to make the reports very good. I even had less work. At the point, I just knew that I didn't have to correct too many things. I have less time to review. So what I want to end with is that even no matter what we experience climbing the ladder, as it were, the corporate ladder, I really don't think it's right for us to continue that vicious cycle. So let's choose to challenge that stereotype, to break that. Don't throw away the ladder when you climb up and say, hey, I bet this space is too small, women cannot be here. No, build more ladder. Okonjo-Iweala said something that I am the first, I certainly will not be the last. That if there are no other moderator agencies, we will create more and come with your chairs. So it's more like, just if we're able to change this and build other women, the same thing, Kamala Harris said it, I am the first, but I definitely will not be the last. I am happy to hear that. So let's go ahead and begin to change the stereotypes and tell ourselves that after today, I have to introspect, knock out, identify when that bile is coming, send it back to wherever it's coming, and then grow. Thank you very much.
So
I hope I made sense.
Thank you so much. This was powerful, 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 powerful. Thank you, Wendy. So there's so many things I got from Wendy's. In fact, so many things which you are choosing to challenge this in the last 5 to 10 minutes. We're choosing to challenge the bile. We're choosing to challenge our mindset. We're choosing to challenge our emotions. We're also choosing to challenge excellence, to be excellent in what we do. And then talking about emotions, I know that one very powerful skill that is essential for us in our workplace and even at home is emotional intelligence. It can be overemphasized, the need or the benefit of emotional intelligence as women. And so that will bring me to my next set of questions. I'll address the first one to Chidima. Chidima, what do people mean by office politics? Have you ever experienced it? What tips can you share to help us never be a victim of office politics? Chidima, the floor is yours.
Hi, Chinene. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, I think at this point, it's a time to close the meeting. That was deep, Wendy. Thank you for being real. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I love the real talk.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, what do people mean by office politics? I think so. We can also call it workplace politics. The truth of the matter is we need to understand that office politics is a reality, right? It's normal. It's not all office politics that is bad. That's the truth. I would want to define it as a process and behavior, right, of human interactions that involves power and authority. Now we are talking about influence. We are talking about power. It's an unfortunate thing for women, especially for men and women, but most likely for women. We believe that I don't want to play the politics. right? I don't want to play that game. I just need to do my work, and my work will speak for me. But I'm here to let you know that most often than not, that is not true. That your work, you think you just sit down, working, and your work will speak for you. Sweethearts, ladies, as you're working, doing the work, probably you won't even know next day they're saying that the company is shutting down, and you're still about to present the next day. You are ready to make your presentation, and they tell you that the company is shutting down, and you are ready with your presentation slides. So it's especially when you have 2 or 3 people in an organization, they're bound to be diverse perspectives. They're going to have different opinions, and when we have different opinions, the politics will come to play. It's a game that women, especially women, don't play. And another thing we need to understand that in an organization we have scarce resources, and when we have scarce resources, they're going to bound to have the tough decisions will be made, right? And human beings also are emotional. We are political animals. That's the truth. We're emotional and we are political animals. So we also have unconscious needs and biases. So the politics will come to play. So for me, we need to understand that when we talk about politics, we're not talking about gossiping. No, that is not it. Ladies, we need to avoid gossip. We don't need to gossip. That's not politics. That's not playing politics. When you're talking about politics, you're talking about building bridges and building friends, right? I would like to say in my over 13 years of experience, I noticed that relationship in the workplace is very vital. There are 3 networks we need to ensure we have. One will be the operational network, what they call the day-to-day. You need to have people, build relationships, that people that will help you to deliver your day-to-day activities, your day-to-day tasks. These are people, your operational network, people that will help you, your colleagues, your peers that will help you to deliver that. You need to build that relationship with them, that when opportunity comes out, they will let you know. When they go into a hospital, go into an institution, and you see an opportunity for you, they call you in because of the relationship you built with them. That's the bridge you built with them. We also have the strategic network we must build. And when we are talking about the strategic network, what we are talking about here is, we already mentioned it here, that the environment is changing, is evolving, right? And when it's evolving, we need to build those colleagues, those friends that will let us know where the threats are. Like I said initially, you are preparing your presentation slide, and what happens, the organization is about to shut down. So we need to be in places, build relationship with colleagues and friends. And how do you build this relationship? For example, women, most often than not, despite the married ones, in the evening, probably after a presentation, after a conference, they want to step out, they want to go out. Like, no, I don't want to go out, I need to go home. I mean, I'm done with my core objective. I'm done with what I'm supposed to do. I've delivered. I'm excellent. Culture of excellence. I've delivered. I don't need to go out again in the evening. I need to get home. I need to work with the homework with my kids. But sweethearts, ladies, we need to make our time, because those are the places where decisions are made. These are the places where you need to scan your environment. And in such environment, that's where you hear stories. That's where you keep track of what is happening, where the opportunities are, what is happening, what is about to happen, and you plan. Like if that lady, for example, heard about it, would have probably by then just heard that I've gotten another job. His or her colleagues already started looking for jobs because they heard that the company is about to shut down. So they started, sourcing. They started looking out, applying for jobs. But you are there trying to build a culture of excellence. Sometimes we don't get it wrong. It's quite good. We need to be excellent in what we are doing. But beyond that, we need to step out. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to step out. We need to build those bridges. We need to build those strategic and operational. And that takes me to the last one, which is the developmental network. This is why are we all here? I can see a lot of ladies sign up this Sunday evening. This is your time because we want to grow. We want to learn. Coming in here, I was also expectant. I'm going to learn from the panelists. So we want to grow. And for us to grow, we need to develop those network, I think I read a saying that said, who you know determines what you get to do. And what you get to do will determine what you know. Let me say it again. Who you know will determine what you get to do. And what you get to do will determine what you know. And you know, at the end of the day, it's about what you know. So this takes me to how do you build your developmental network, the relationships we're talking about. First, you need to have a coach. A coach might be your manager, your direct report. It might also be someone you admire in the organization. That's the coach that helps you to ensure you deliver on your day-to-day activity, your day-to-day task, your day-to-day assignments, right? Then you need a mentor. A mentor is someone that's been there. You have your vision, you have your plan, you know where you want to get to. You need a mentor that walked through that path, that will guide you to make the right decisions. Then finally, you need a sponsor. A sponsor is that person that will blow your trumpet. A sponsor is that person when you're not there in that meeting, when they are making that decision, the trumpet to stand up to say, let me see the names we have here, to say Bolu, Abina, Abina, no, Abina is good. She's excellent. She delivers. She goes beyond and above. That's a sponsor. You might not know. So we need to have this network. So when like I said in the beginning, not all office politics is what is bad. We need to build this relationship. We go for lunch. What happens? You decide to go for lunch, and you see a table with men, and they're discussing. You just take your lunch, go and sit on your own corner, and you eat. Hello, ladies. No, we need to be, that's emotional intelligence. You need to go sit with them. Sit with them, have the discussions. Like I said, these are places where the environment is being scanned. You hear about opportunities and threats. We need to build this relationship. I'm not saying let's be fake. No, we need to be authentic. We need to be real. And most often than not, we tend to build and blend with people we like, people that we have we share common things, but we need to step outside the box to build relationship with key stakeholders. When I say build relationship, for example, for me, one of your key directors in your organization, probably he loves football. Man U and the Man City played today, and you happen to hear about it. Man U won. I hope so. I'm not aware. Ibuku, I know you're a lover of soccer. I hope Man U won. You hear that Man U won. Then you go to the office the next day. You see him. You greet him, and you tell him, "Wow, I know you are glad that your club won. The Man U won. That's building relationship. You show genuine care, genuine concern. So I'm not saying be fake because you want the person to be in your good side. No, you need to build relationship. You need to go out there, go to offices, go to meetings, go outside. I've been in station. There was a time we had a beach end of year beach, and there was a course that I was doing, and I was supposed to submit my paper the next day. I was on leave. I took some days off, and I said I'm not going to go because I looked at what I have to do. I still have so much to cover. So I said, no, I'm not going to go. I need to, tidy up and ensure that I submit the next day. And I thought about it. I said, no, I need to be there. It's key. You need to be visible. Ladies, we need to be visible. We need to be ready to raise our hands, stand up and be counted. But most women, like I said, just get your job done. My job will speak for me. No, we need to go beyond that. We need to own our stories. We need to tell our stories. And if you're not there, you won't tell your story. So I went for that meeting, and I was discussing one of the top, the management, and the men asked about another manager that was not there, which I've spoken to the manager before then, and he had an issue with his car. This was the comments that was passed. Like, no, we would have been here. That such meetings are very key. We need to be visible. He didn't believe the story I gave, that his car had issue. He was looking for his car keys. I told him to take Uber, but somehow, like I said, I didn't want to go. He just said, no, if he finds his car key before 4:30, he'll make it. If not, he'll just call it off. And he did. So the top leadership said, no, this is not good. You need to be visible. It needs to be here. This is not the first time it's happening. Like I said, they're very, very, very key. So just to round up, I know I have 5 minutes. I would like to just talk about being politically savvy. Some of the things we need to do. Some of them I've already talked about. Being visible, right? Being visible. You need to help your boss to succeed. You need to, in meetings, you sit down in meetings, you don't even talk. Some of assignments come up, you don't raise your hand, you don't want to be part of the task. You don't want to be in the assignment. You don't want to be part of the assignment. You don't want to be part of the team. These are places where they see you and they hear you and they know you. Another thing you need to do is you need to stop complaining. We women, we complain a lot. Let's be real to ourselves. If we are not saying this, we're not complaining about that, can we try to, comport ourselves? You can critique, yes, but let's not complain. Like I said, avoid gossip, and we need to be good team players. We see ourselves, we need to shine. We need to be good team players and shine. Winning, and I think winning in the office, winning in the game, most importantly, is about practice. So we need to challenge that mindset, saying we are not going to play the game. We need to play the game, but play it well. And what does it mean? What you need to do, if you get a mail saying that somebody gave birth, what concerns you? It's not even in my team. Just respond to the mail to say, congratulations, congrats. But you won't, it's not in your team. Little things like that, that's the relationship you're building. You get mail, somebody gave birth, somebody got married, no message from you. Women, we need to go and be out there. We need to be visible. We need to start practicing building linkages. We need to build friends to ensure that when tough decisions are being taken, we will be favored. That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chinere.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sure you can hear me now. I was muted.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dimsy. Thank you so much. I took a lot of notes down. Because I know that this is a very, very delicate issue when it comes to, the fact that some of us shy away from things like this. So I love the way you handled it. You actually were straight to the point. You were being real. Thank you so much for being real as possible as you could get. We're choosing to challenge our network. We're choosing to challenge our network because we understand. I don't know, is my network good? Not that kind of network, but
yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay, better now. Thank you. So we're choosing to challenge our network in the sense that the kind of people we relate with, our colleagues, and our ability to network with people intelligently. We're also choosing to challenge our visibility because over time I've realized that your network opens doors for you. Your excellence, the fact that you have developed yourself is what keeps you in the room. But what opens the door for you is actually the kind of network, the kind of people you have, around you, the kind of people you have built relationships with. Nobody can truly see how valuable you are until you open your mouth and speak, until you interact with people, until you network with people. So thank you so much, Dima. Let me not just go more and more into it, but thank you. You did a great job. I really appreciate you. So let's continue. Let's finish up on emotional intelligence. Ibukun, this question is for you. How do you control your emotions in the office, especially when things aren't going as you anticipate? For example, how do you handle a difficult, I think Wendy talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
But just your emotions generally, how do you control your emotions, especially when things are not going in your favor? And then as a light question, as a light addition, are women really difficult bosses?
If somebody tell you I have a female boss.
Are you serious? Can you imagine? Interesting.
That's just okay. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't say I have mastered that yet. I think I'm still on that learning journey. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is, owning up to being on the same journey, but I would say I have gotten better over the years. I don't think I'm perfect yet with that. So I can't say this is how I have mastered, that, but I would say a few things that have helped me get better. I think the previous question was 5 minutes. Okay, looking at my timer. I think the previous question was an excellent way to bridge into emotional intelligence here. And I would say that I think it is directly linked to office politics. Why I say this is this. Most people who are quite emotionally intelligently naive are also quite politically naive. So the day you start to open your eyes to, and your ears and your senses to being politically aware in an organization, automatically you start becoming a bit more emotionally intelligent. So I would say it's directly linked to office politics. Why? Understanding the chessboard, or the game of chess, and understanding the chessboard, who are the different players on the chessboard, where each player is, where your boss is, where your peers are on that chessboard, helps you manage your emotions, to know whether this is wasted energy, or this is, why am I getting emotionally, worked up on this particular, look at these people on the chessboard, it's a waste of time. Why get upset? Channel that energy somewhere else. So I would say, I would look at it from starting on the chessboard. Where is everybody on the chessboard? So when the different players on the chessboard tweak you up, you ask yourself, why am I getting upset? The second part that has helped me, or second thing that has helped me, is understanding the man or the woman behind the man and the woman that we see. Like, okay, I do brand marketing or brand management, and we're trained to ask why. So why is this person like this? So why helps me calm down. Not all the time, I must confess, but most of the time, because then I'm able to say why, and relate it back to that chessboard. Okay, there's no point. Or if I realize that I have a better opportunity at the stronger person on that chessboard to quell this pressure that is coming at me, then I do it sometimes. I go round, I kill the pressure up there so that pressure stops coming down to me midway. And that's because I've understood the chessboard. There's no point reacting here. Go and do a root cause analysis up here, diffuse it, and then we can all sleep at night. So that has helped me. And it didn't start when I used to react every day I had a sales manager. Yeah, I had sales manager. I think I've come a long way. I don't know if any of my colleagues are on the call, but they know that Ibuku is less and less of an emotional wreck, when it comes to this. So I would say, understand the office politics, understand where everyone is. Ask yourself, why is this person doing this? Understand the man and the woman behind the one you see. This person might just be going through so much and just comes out, like they say, a lot of people are walking around like garbage trucks and are looking for where to just dump the garbage. And unfortunately, you are the one they see on Monday morning. So why are you now reacting if you understand the why behind this person? So that helps you, that has helped me. With managing my boss, the same thing, understand the man and the woman behind this person, understand how they work and like to work. If you have a boss who is a show horse, you may have a boss who is a plow horse. So there's the show horse, there's the plow horse, one that wants to work, doesn't want anybody in his department to make him be wanting on anything. Align, align well. And if he's a show horse, like a show horse, this one, it's like, let me use that analogy. Somebody is here now, allow me to use that analogy. He's like the foam on top of cappuccino. There's nothing on that. It's just foam. They just want that foam to be up and up. Okay, so find a way to make that, help him help his own goals, and then, still build your own stuff, stuff, so that even though his own fluff is on top, if he goes, you're not going to crumble because you've also built your own stuff. You know your onions, you know your stuff. So understand who they are, who's this person, where is he on the chess game, on the chessboard, what are his short-term goals from what I can see, how can I align to help him here? You find out that even when you miss deadlines, the person is aligned with you too. Your colleagues, same thing. Some of our colleagues are going through a lot and we don't know. So understanding the man or the woman behind this person, agree that there are some people's weaknesses that cannot change. Just, how do they say, the Serenity Prayer? This one, I can't do anything to you. This one, I can help you get better at. For this one that we can't do anything to you, who can help us help you? So that all of us as a team don't fall down. I think that those are the few things. I've passed my 5 minutes. Those are the few things that have helped me in managing my emotions, and that has happened over time. I'm not yet there, but I think I get better every day. Thanks. Chinay, I can't hear you.
Thank you so much, IBK. I was trying to.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. I think it has come to, it's obvious to us that most of all we have said are sort of like they have an influence on each other. It's not like nothing it works on its own. It's not in isolation. So we're all trying to make meaning out of everything. So it's important for us to understand that we're choosing not to be naive. We're choosing not to ignore office politics, and we are choosing to understand how the game is played, understand where you fit in on the chessboard and how you can influence decisions and influence the pressure, such that you don't become an emotional wreck. Thank you so much, Ibukun. Nina, you're next. We skipped a question, so we're going back there. On the job satisfaction. Have you ever felt like you were in the wrong career path? Was it just a phase? How did you know you were how did you eventually realize you were on the right path, if you did? And how did you manage that feeling?
Well, in short, I have just been wowed so far. The whole session has just been quite powerful. I just want to use this opportunity to just, hail my ladies, because girls were super, honestly, because I think it's something we need to do this quite often, to remind ourselves what we're capable of and what we've done and what we've achieved over the years, and, to also encourage others too. So that being said, let me go to the question at hand. Yeah, so looking at this, actually, two things come to my mind, really. The first thing really is self-awareness, and that's very important, knowing yourself, knowing what, you're capable of. And that's, one of the things when we talk about competences, these are some of the, things one looks out for, how well do I know myself, my capabilities, what I'm able to do. I have a story around this. Usually I like to tell stories so that at least it helps drive home, what I'm saying, I basically. And so like I said, self-awareness is something that, to be able to really address this and get yourself out of this kind of situation, you need to understand yourself, understand your strengths, basically. Then in addition to that, basically, is if you look at it critically, it also has to do with, challenging. So that's why I like the whole team, really, because it's, we can each draw from that, challenging, the fixed state or fixed mindset kind of thing. So I will throw more light around, challenging the fixed mindset when I, tell my story, basically. And it has to do with around when I started my career. Interestingly, I didn't set out to be a salesperson. In short, I didn't even consider sales as something I thought I could do, So I remember because when I came out of school, I always wanted to do an NGO job, or interestingly, I thought I could work at a bank, I don't know what I was thinking then. I think it was the money, really, not really necessarily the fact that I wanted to work in a bank, because, in retrospect now, I'm just wondering, what were you really thinking? I remember one of our senior colleagues there came to school then. It was a bank. I came with this Porsche car and everything. I was like, man, I think this is a possibility. I could do this, and all of that. But oh boy, I chose the exam, I beg. So let's not even talk about that. So yes, I was thinking I would do, the NGO thing was really strong on my mind. But then an opportunity came to, interview for the sales job. And, it was a friend who told me about it. And I was like, well, why not? Let's go in and then let's see how it goes. And then I went, and because I'm a believer in, what doing is what doing well. And that's another thing that also, comes out strongly as women. It still, ties into what, my panelists have said. Modipe has said that, Chidima said that, Wendy said that, the spirit of excellence, what's what doing is what doing well. So I went in there. Yes, it wasn't what I originally set out to do, but I just never believed that I should flunk that, interview. So I went in, I did the interview. I think out of how many of us, it was just the two of us, myself and my colleague who told me about it. I got that, got the job, so I set out. And initially, of course, when I started, I felt, wow, this is wrong. Sales, target. What am I doing here? You know. But interestingly, I'm sure we can all, you know, relate to this. You know, let me use the word in quotes, the high that comes with, you know, the success of, you know, winning a sale or getting a sale. You know, that thing just keeps you going. So when I started doing that, and of course, when I started on the job, you know, that thing of, you know, wanting to excel and exceed and to conquer was there, and that drive and that motivation was there. You know, it just kept me going. And then, you know, that brings me to that saying about, you know, challenging the fixed mindset. So we know about the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. You know, the fixed mindset is limiting. You just want to just stay with what you know. But the growth mindset is exploratory. You know, you want to try new things. You want to challenge yourself. So that's why I said challenge the fixed mindset. So at that point, it was a case of, okay, I felt I was in the wrong career initially, but then, you know, what's to say? This, I can succeed at this. And, you know, yeah, it just took me just taking a step back, reevaluating myself and telling myself, okay, this is doable and I can do this, you know. And then that was it, really. And, you know, basically from then on, the story still continues. I'm still in sales and I'm loving what I do, you know, and it has even helped me because, of course, as an entrepreneur too, the truth is sales, you have to do, sales is everything. You have to be able to sell, to be able to succeed basically at everything you do. Even talking to your children, you have to be a good salesperson to be able to win them, you know. So really, I'm sure all moms can identify with that. So really, that's my take. So first of all, self-awareness is very important. Choose to challenge the fixed mindset. You know, it helps a lot, you know. And then I think with that, you definitely see that, you know, nothing is cast in stone. You can basically adjust and readjust. And like I said, sales is something that is fantastic. And if you have that competency as a salesperson, believe me, you can do anything, really. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina. Thank you so very much. We're choosing to challenge the fixed mindset and we're choosing to adopt the growth mindset. Thank you so much. So let's go on to, I think we handled unsupportive. Okay, yeah, we've done this. Let's go on to the fifth set of questions. Yeah, self-discovery. I think Nina even gave us a good opening to this. You've already given us a beautiful opening to this. So I think the other presenters, you don't need up to 5 minutes anymore to handle this. So I think, yeah, so this is for, okay, yeah, this is for Chidima, right? Chidima, what do you do when you realize that, what do you do when you realize that you might be in the wrong career path? Imagine you have never met your target. You're trying to advise someone who probably has never met their target. They don't think they are good at presentations. They just don't seem to connect with customers just like their competitors are connecting. I know you're a sales manager, so I'm sure you might have seen someone like this in the past. So how do you advise such a person, such a young sales professional? What does she need to do? How is she going to cope in this industry? Should she just resign and find another, job, or what should she do? This should actually be one of your favorite questions, I'm sure. Thank you so much, Dima.
Thank you, Chile. Thank you, Nena. I think Nena did a good and laid the foundation. So I'll just ride on it. Thank you, Liz. From this question, I think what I see here is imposter syndrome. I think that's what we have here. This is, I'll look at, because this is that voice telling you, that's that voice telling you that I don't think I'm good. You don't think you're competent enough, right? Meanwhile, maybe others are perceiving you as very good. That voice keep telling you this. So I'll start by telling the young lady to, first of all, get a coach, right? The coach might be someone, might be your manager, the direct manager, or someone else you admire in your organization. get a coach, and the coach will walk you through the process. I would like to say that sales is a process. You know, we have the sales and the process we need to take. So I will ask the person to sit back and think through, because he mentioned here that I've never met targets. It's not about just meeting the targets. It's a process. Are you calling on the right doctor? Do you have the right doctor? Are you truly uncovering their needs, right? Another key thing to mention here is frequency of call is beyond targets. If you see that you are doing your customer engagement very well, you're calling on the right doctor, but this result is not just showing, right? I'll tell you, are you getting feedback from your manager? We need to learn how to own our developmental needs. Seek for the feedback. What am I doing wrong, right? Because like I said, by imposter syndrome, we always feel that we are not good enough. And just to chip in here is that by the time you get a role or you are in a position where you are comfortable, you can actually do all the objective, excel. That means you're already overqualified for that role. You need to be in a role that you need to stretch, you need to learn, that gives you room for development, for you to get results. So I'll tell you to sit back, look through the sales process. It's not about, it's a process, the efforts, the how, not just the results. So if you go through it and you find out that yes, you've done all the processes, you tick the box and it's correct, but the result is not coming. And that key thing to know is that there's sow time and there's harvest time. Sometimes it takes time for the result to show. I have a friend then, I remember a friend of mine, you know, when we first started this career, she was in another organization, another multinational. Anytime there's time for presentation, we call the boss to come and present. Because she felt that she's not good enough. She'll fix the meeting and the boss will come and present. Unfortunately for her, actually 2 years after, she was moved to Calabar. And the boss was not in Calabar. The boss was not in Calabar. She had to start presenting, right? Start presenting with the registrars and all that. And when she had meeting, I think they had very key opinion leaders there. She had to call the boss to come in. The boss flew in and did the presentation. And the feedback the colleagues, I remember, you know, having that discussion with her. The feedback the colleagues gave her was that if you handle that presentation, you have done a better job. But we always believe that we're not good enough. We don't see it. That's why feedback is key. We need to ask for feedback from our colleagues. Like I said, remember when I mentioned earlier, talking about our operational network, those people we work with. We need to seek for feedback, seek from our manager. Then I also need to, another thing we need to do, can we shadow, there's someone in your team that is doing a great job. Can you decide to shadow, to learn from the person? Maybe there's something you're not doing right. You know, you work with your coach to get all these things right. And another key thing to do is record. We women, we don't record our success. I don't know if you know about the brag sheet. We need to have a brag sheet. We need to record those little wins, you know, those little milestones. We don't need to get the sales. You were set to probably sell 50 packs of I don't know whether we're all pharma here, any products. But for the fact that you had that meeting, success, as in you had a meeting, you planned it, all the key people were present, is success. It's a milestone you've achieved. You need to start celebrating yourself. Quarterly, monthly, write it down, have an Excel on your system. Because what this thing does to you, it helps boost your confidence. I can do it. Let's not wait to the end results. Every month, what did I do well? Which milestone, which gap did I meet? Let's celebrate successes. Let's celebrate these milestones. Have a brag sheet where you fill it in. I will also help you when it's time for interview. You don't have to start cracking, start calling your friends. I remember when I had interview, I had to call my colleague that have left the organization to say, that time we went to CBN, what happened again? You know, that kind of story. But if I had my brag sheet, all I need to do is just go back there and see all those information, apart from your records, your appraisals. So another thing I would say is, if after working with your coach and you see that, yes, you're actually not good, right? There are issues here. I believe that your brag, B-R-A-G, I believe that your coach should look at other areas. In sales, there are other areas you can look at. Beyond sales, you can look at the commercial excellence, you know, Salesforce and automation. Can you move in there? Are there other things? So if that's your strength, look at what are you good at? What do you like doing? The coach will be able to help identify these strengths. So you can take up assignments, you can take up stretched assignments, you can take up tasks to build the confidence, to build the experience. So when opportunity comes out in that area, you move it before you start talking about resigning, right? We need to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's actually part of success. It's part of it. It's not the opposite. You know? So in summary, I would say that this, I feel, is an imposter syndrome. We feel that we are not good enough. Let's use the black sheets, celebrate little wins, milestones achieved. We all work in an organization where we have structure. So we have what we're supposed to do. We have our goals. We break it down to different deliverables. When we meet one, please, let's celebrate ourselves. I don't know if you know this role, during the end SARS, she was one of the legal team. She was coordinating the legal team. She said something that any month she achieves anything, she goes out to buy herself something expensive. She feels good. Take yourself out. Enjoy yourself, She buys herself something good. She doesn't wait till month end or the year end to go plunge. So I would say in summary is have a coach that will work with you to identify if there are areas, if truly there's something wrong, and if there's something wrong, we can look at other areas you can move to, or you can look at that point, you can say, okay, fine, I'm not good. This is a wrong career path. We need to go go somewhere, choose something else. And I would like to also say that it takes courage. I think it was E.E. Cummings is a poem that said, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. It takes courage. So please don't be in a haste. There's sow time and there's harvest time. Check through the process to ensure that, yes, there's something wrong. That is not an imposter syndrome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, James. You've spoken like a true sales manager and a coach. Thank you so very much. So let me just run off to the next question because we don't have so much time. I can't believe it's already past 8. Let's just go straight to Ify. This next question is for you. I know that you dealt a bit into it when you were answering your first question, but I'll still ask all the same because I know that there comes a time in a sales representative's life, especially when you feel like you have learned it all. I think I know everything right now. So what next? You understand? I know that you said we should try and evolve and try and I know you gave us a lot of tips initially when you spoke, but I just want you to answer this question as real as possible. Let's be real here.
Oh, okay. Let me keep it real and keep it short.
Yeah. What other role can I take up after being a sales rep or a sales manager for so long? 5 years, 6 years. The position narrows down as we go up the ladder. What opportunities are there that I need to be aware of? Is there something I'm not opening my eyes to?
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So back to the theme of the International Women's Day. I want us to choose to challenge that this ladder does not always have to go up. We don't always have to rise horizontally. We can grow, expand, diverge vertically, diagonally. Like you said, it's a pyramid. And there's always going to be only one Elon Musk. There's always going to be one Jeff Bezos. Thank God he has divorced now. Unfortunately, my husband is still around. If not, I know that other position is still open. Oh, my husband is hearing me. Oh no. But basically, we don't always have to go up. We can look at what else. Okay, I've been a sales rep for this number of years, and I think I want to move to the next level. What's the career ladder? What's the next step? What do we do? Okay, let me attack some people here that I know. I saw a very nice comment that Bisola wrote. Now, Bisola wants to become sales manager and Chidima is still there. Bisola cannot take her name to Babalawo. So Bisola needs to look at what else is there. There's marketing, there's key account manager. Bisola, I'm not moving either. There's key account manager. There is patient access. There is advocacy. There is training, data analytics. There is just so much. we don't all have to go up. We don't have to do the rep, sales manager, national sales manager. And so that's just it. We need to choose to challenge that it doesn't always have to go this way. Yes, I've been here. Can I go this way? What other areas? What's the next big thing? What are we looking at? I know there's a lot of buzz now around data analytics. That's probably what we should be. Chidima is an excellent sales manager. Just chill there. Let me move to this other direction, you know. So I think that is what we should be thinking about. So initially, when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, I work in an organization that is diverse and enriched. I was like, okay, what other areas maybe I could dig out some roles? But I thought about it, and we're not all going to go up. Like our boss will tell us in the office, unless we want his job, he's still there. We can't all be country managers. It's a pyramid. So let's look at, okay, what else? We have regional roles opening up. We have marketing. There's just so much. So I think while we are on the job and the company is paying us to train ourselves, let's evolve. 1 minute. This baby wants to get in the call. Can somebody come and take Byron, please? So while we're there, let's look at what other interests we have. What's the direction the market is going at? A couple of years ago, we're not thinking that training would be done the way it's being done now. How can we move into that area? We're not thinking about having virtual calls, virtual meetings and all that. What area? What's likely to be the new big thing? Yes, HR. What's likely to be the new thing? And I think it's something that, because we have that experience as salespersons, we'll do a fantastic job, a lot better than Wendy's HR boss if we went into HR, if we became HR regional director or global, you know, exactly, Bisola, diversity and inclusion. So we need to start thinking, yes, we're on this level. These guys up here are very comfortable. Any of the big bucks, they are not moving. We need to be able to see how we can find ways to move vertically and then rise up in that way. That's all I'm going to say about it. We need to choose to challenge that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're choosing to challenge the ladder. We're choosing to challenge the fact that you don't have to go up. You could go left, you could go right, you know. Thank you so much, Ify. So we're going to the last set of questions now. We'll just run through them. And it's about sexual harassment in the workplace. Very sensitive topic. I can see Wendy adjusting her chair. Adjust your gele too, Wendy. You know, the next question is for you. How can this be defined? How can you define sexual harassment in the workplace? Is it real, or are we just imagining things?
Sorry, guys. I live in Nigeria. I need to switch over. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Okay. So should we go? Let Dupe. Can you Dupe? Are you ready? Let me ask you your question before while Wendy is getting ready. But it would have been nice if Wendy had answered hers first. But let me ask you, Dupe, have you been in an awkward position with a colleague, a boss, or a customer? How did you get out of it without damaging the relationship? Modupe.
So, you know, very, very interesting conversation. Like Nena said, I think we need to do more of this. Really. So, you know, when I saw the question, right, have I ever been in a awkward position regards, you know, sexual harassment and all of that? So personally, you know, honestly, I have not. You know, it could be because of my job. I don't know, and probably because I'd been married I'd been married before I started my sales career. So, but then you also hear, of course, I have a lot of friends and colleagues in the industry, and you know, I've had some experiences that have been shared with me. I think one key thing is as women that we need to, you know, first of all, try to implement is, not to put ourselves in uncomfortable positions, positions that you're not comfortable being in. And then we still know that no matter how much you try to make sure that you don't get exposed to this kind of thing, it happens anyway, without you even playing any part in that. And I think that this is where emotional intelligence would also come in, really. Because no two positions would have the same response. It has to be, your response has to be tailored to whatever situation you find yourself. So, but of course, definitely, it's unacceptable. And personally, I would be an advocate of, speaking about it. I think the culture of silence just enables it, right? So if it were to happen to me, I know that I'll have absolutely no no objections, and I would absolutely speak about it. And of course, there are a lot of avenues to report that kind of behavior now, and of course to make sure that that situation is handled. So to conclude, a lot of emotional intelligence is needed, because no two situations have the same response. And of course, I think speaking up about it, I think would be very, very, would be a good path to follow. So Wendy is back.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the question. Someone asked a question earlier in the chat room. I think it would be nice for you to answer that question right now, because it's related to sexual harassment. I deliberately, wanted to ask it at this time. I remember, I think I sent it to you privately. I don't know if you saw it. I sent it to you privately. Something about when Chidima was talking about visibility. And the person said, how is it possible to, be visible and yet avoid being sexually harassed at the workplace?
Yeah, that's another very interesting question. So I would say that while being visible, I do agree that visibility is required in the workplace. You have to work hard and work smart. And working smart is making sure that while you're doing the work, the right people that should know about the work that you're doing, they need to know about it. You're not working in darkness and just expecting that by some chance everybody will know you're doing great work. So now, while you are trying to do that, I guess it all boils down to what you're comfortable with. And I'm an advocate of not molding yourself 100%, not turning yourself into somebody else just because you want to move up. Because what I've realized is that at the end of the day, I think as women, we need to be true to ourselves all the time. Personally, I maybe because of my own type of person, I don't socialize a lot with my male colleagues. In fact, I work for a company where I travel a lot, and most times I start after dinner drinks and all of that. I'm usually never found. Once I've had my dinner, I'm off to bed. You find me watching Netflix in my room or something. I don't go out after dinner to catch drinks with the guys, because it's just not who I am, right? And it's something that has worked for me it's not something I do. And it's not something I want to start doing just because I want to network. I find other ways to network. So you are having a wedding, you have a baby, somebody is getting married, daytime events. I make sure I attend those ones, the ones I can do. But then guys are going clubbing at night and all of that. I don't attend this one because it's just not me. So I would say that do you really just do what you're comfortable with. And I don't think you should try to fit in, because you want to fit in, then you start doing things that you're not comfortable with. Before you know it, you would have probably lost yourself in the process. So at every point in time, do you and be true to yourself.
Thank you so much, Modupe. Thank you very much. So we're choosing to challenge ourselves and choosing to challenge to be ourselves. So
Yeah.
Wendy's back. Wendy, are you back fully?
Yes, hopefully. But not everything is always equal. So if there's any issue, I'll just change to my picture after the picture is still fine. You will like it now, right?
I thought you were going to
Okay, so let me
change
hit it straight.
Yeah, and I also
No,
wanted
let
to
me just hit
handle
it straight.
I also wanted to handle that question on the
Okay.
perspective of a different kind of personality. You know, Modupe cited the fact that the kind of person she is, this is how she is. How about if that kind of that kind of person that is a sanguine, you naturally would like to mingle and network and have fun with the guys. How do you handle being visible and yet not being, being yourself, being your fun-loving self, and yet not being sexually harassed in the workplace?
Okay. Great points, actually. Like when Chidima was talking, I noted it down. I think I even chatted, I said it out that be authentic, be intentional, even in your visibility plan. Because, and Modupe just said it, be authentic. We have different personalities. Look at my finger. They're not the same. So I take it as a framework. It's a framework. I choose the flesh and every other thing I want to put on top of it. Do you understand? Based on my kind of person. She gave a very powerful example, for instance. She said, the default setting, right? During a lunchtime when people have come in from various diverse people, we're talking about diversity and inclusion. You come from media meeting and the rest, people from different countries and the rest, different leaders have come in. Every break, every lunch break, every other time I hang out with Dima, I hang out with Chineye, I hang out with Ifi. And then this same media, I still want to hang out with them alone. Come on now. Let's the other people go and network. So that's in as much as I'd like to be on my own, but this time I'm being intentional. And really, you learn more by listening. So I want to merge the two because as Ibukun rightly said, I share that opinion that being emotionally intelligent and then being able to network and even the sexual harassment, everything, all of them are all linked one way or the other. Now, I want to come back to boundaries like I talked about myself. When I began my career, many of us have shared the example. You come in and then the doctors are male doctors. Fine pharmacist, hot person. Beginning with what they say. So let me define, what is that? What is sexual harassment? Do you know, even verbal? You're looking sexy in that top and you smile. Why are you smiling? That's sexual harassment. Yes. Oh, sexy top. And the next thing you're talking about giving him a leave behind, all those things we used to give, or a biro. He's not holding the biro, he's holding your hand. And you just say, come on, put your boundaries. So when you're taking the job, you already know that we are endangered species as females, unfortunately. Some places you go to buy shoes or buy meat, even when you're a teenager, they say, hey, they start calling you, my color, my this, and they want to touch you. Now, you don't tolerate that. Then why are you tolerating my color, my this, in the consulting room? Because that's what they're doing. These are just doctors. You're not ones who, market people, charlatans. So, because they're professionals, man, there are still animals behind. Sorry, with all due respect, what I'm just trying to say, I'm being, forgive me, guys. No, forgive me, ladies, but this is me. If you don't want me to talk, I'll just keep quiet. But I had to bring those analogies together, please, so that you can now see that I want to paint a picture. So when such a thing is happening, you don't tolerate the market man or the butcher. Why should I tolerate the doctor or my customer or this? Because he's a big fish. But I can send a professional message and make that and shame you in the process. Let me give an example. Smartly. Now, this doctor, I think it was the chief resident or whatever. I really didn't care. I didn't know at the time. Even when I knew, I still didn't care. I came into the family medicine. Usually you enter to family medicine because they are the everything. Once your drug is moving there, you are sure you can go to specialty. So he now was trying to talk to me and feel, come on, look, you're so pretty, this and that, being sexy. I told him, please, I think that was meant to be I think you were trying to compliment him, but I don't appreciate such compliments. Say, see this one. No other people happen. I said, yes, I'm not other people. My name is Wendy Mokoma. Nice to meet you. Okay, I don't think my brand as Wendy I started then was chewing the hair. So I'll go like, okay, I'm chewing the hair. And I introduced myself and began to talk, but I gave him that preamble that I didn't like that. Then he came again and tried it again. The next time I came, I just overlooked his table like nobody was there. Because he was trying to say, hey, I just went straight to the next person and talked to them. He was not like, you won't talk to me. I'm the head. I'm just like, hey, did I ask you who you are? Are you the one that can prescribe for? I was just in my mind. I just set my message to him by not talking because I was offended. Other men will come there, you won't do that. So please, this is who I am. I won't tolerate it. I met a doctor who was the MD at the time. And he now wanted to give me a hug, come and hug me, this full bear hug. I just dodged. I said, doctor, I said, in my culture, we may don't hug men, please, sir. With all due respect, don't be angry. He said, come on, young girl like you. I said, I'm very cultural, please. I don't. So, because I looked at him, I wanted to respect him. I also make him feel ashamed of himself because he came onto me. It was scary, man. And then I believe, even if I liked him, please, my point is, you don't start allowing such. These are subtle things. Now, some come overtly to you, some come subtle. The comments they're making. So what is sexual harassment? It's unwanted sexual gesture, verbal. Some could send you stuff in email, visual stuff, and others will tell you, who I am. They threaten me promotion if you don't do this or in exchange for favors. So I need to have my boundaries. My boundaries should be clear to me. I know that I will not go beyond this. And like the person, what are the steps I would take? So I avoid, visibility now. I'm networking with you. But I also know that if I've noticed that you're not kids now, when somebody seems to like you, I will avoid being alone. Like when I had to consider MD and the rest, I'll call my male colleague, join me on this call, something like that. So you won't be alone. I never made sure I was never alone in his office or anything with him. That's one. So you have to work smartly. Another one is that I wait, someone talk about chess, it's a game of chess. So in my own, my game, my board, where are you? Are you a pawn? Are you a bishop? What are you? If you're a pawn, I don't give a damn what I beg, whatever. Okay, if I feel that you're the queen, how can I navigate through you? Or are you the only one? So it's wisdom in terms of sexual harassment. I want to talk about this. Now, what about that one that came as a confidant? Because this is it's subtle now. You may be having challenges at work. And then that's why I talk about information control, boundaries, and keeping private. We talk about work. Some people you don't know, they're coming close, especially of the opposite gender, and gleaning information about you. It's the same when I talk to parents about child sexual abuse. They come in nice. They're like your friends. You think they're your friends. Maybe they were initially, but they're coming in and telling you things like, you're doing very well. Oh, I've seen your sales are going. How can I help? This and that. Suddenly, the person is almost your confidant. You find yourself now, if you're not careful and you have not understood your boundaries in communication, you start talking about things outside of work. Oh, my son did this. Before it becomes my partner this. And the person now feels one day entitled to ask about your partner, to say this. Why service like this? Did he do that? Did she do that? Excuse me. Why are you asking me that? But if you're off guard and you now start talking, it becomes subtle. But my issue is that as soon as you recognize that the lines are being blurred, please take a step back and keep off. Then if it's somebody who just feels that he has the right to always tap you, I don't like you to touch me, and you want the person firmly or jokingly, say, listen, I'm keeping a journal. I've warned you 3 times. You are still touching me. This is what I don't like. You're still calling me, telling my gown is sexy. I'm keeping a journal. Because I'm going to do. So in a nutshell, I don't advise that you start going nightclub. And next thing say, this world is cute. Why did you go? What were you looking for? Nobody's going to justify the man. So let's also be smart. Then I want to end on this note. It's not necessarily sexual harassment. It's sort of like that. But a friend shared her experience with me. She said to me that she's been working and doing all the work. Remember someone talked about visibility, those who want to show off. Then she didn't know. And then her boss will always send the male colleagues to meet juicy clients. And then send her to meet difficult ones because she was a woman. Sort of, you see what he's doing. Those people, they like women. You now send her. Then the males go to another person. This is, that is sexual harassment somewhere, some sort, in my own opinion. But what she said she did was that she now decided to start decline or call the guys to go. And then she hasn't been given, the pure accolade for what she's been doing. So when her boss's boss came, a Frenchman in this case, and they were talking, she just walked out to him and said, excuse me, that draft I was working on, the one you said I should change it, that particular one, she mentioned the name, this is the Frenchman's eyebrow. I said, oh, really? I don't want to do that draft. She said, yes, that's being politically savvy. He said, yes, oh, join us for this meeting. And that's how she joined us for the meeting. And then she began to get what her due visibility. So in essence, I know that with wisdom, with prayers, define our boundaries, we should be able to deal with this elephant in the room. It occurs, but I think the first thing is to define it. and call it out for what it is. And don't do it jokingly, be firm about it, from verbal, conversations to email or connotations, even things like, she's acting someone, is it the time of her month? It's discrimination. It may not be sexual, but don't accept such things. I hope I have done some good job. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you so very much. In fact, you kept it real. Thank you for keeping it real. Thank you so much. So let's just, I don't know if anyone has any questions or if everything was just absolutely clear for you. Obegali is saying straight up, thank you for the practical steps, Wendy. I think that was for you. Thank you so much. Abisola says, setting boundaries is absolutely necessary. And Fatima is saying, this agenda is funny and somewhat confused. What are we defining as sexual? What we are defining as sexual harassment is what other ladies want from these guys. Like, if I'm nicely dressed, I would of course like men to compliment me in a nice way. So yeah, Fatima is trying to is trying to justify.
Sorry, Chine, let me say something. You can tell me that you look pristine, you look this in your, why will you tell me I look sexy? I don't think you are authorized to tell me I look sexy in that. Was that what I had in mind when I was wearing the dress? No. For me, it's in a professional place and it's a professional relationship. That's what I mean, actually. I don't say men shouldn't compliment you, but they should be careful of the words. Oh, okay, someone should say, oh, look at your booty. It's really showing in this trouser. Would you like that?
Actually, I understand you, Wendy. I also understand Fatima's point of view. But you need to understand that for people who appreciate those kind of compliments, they also were there for a different mission. Their mission was not to go there as sales professionals. They went there on their own professional journey. So they got the compliments that complimented
they got their results. They closed very well. They closed
exactly. They closed their sale. So don't be bothered about those ones.
No, I said set your objective and your boundary. So Shikena, that is your boundary. It is exactly
you. So those ones that appreciate those kind of compliments actually have that mission in mind. Thank you so much, Fatima, for that little distraction. So let's go into the next session, which is, we're going to do that as briefly as possible. Let's see if it's still, so it's basically what we've been talking about since, but this time around, we're going to be a bit more practical. It's called, I'm calling it the accountability session. So out of everything we have spoken about today, I want you to choose one thing that you're going to choose to challenge this year. So we're going to have this meeting this same time next year. I'm sure all of you will be here next year. I'm very sure. I'm like 100% sure. So by this time next year, what would you have challenged? What are you going to choose to challenge between now and by this time next year? So when you pick that, I want you to pick a body, an accountability body. In fact, I've changed it. I usually wrote accountability body, but I like the tag brag body. We have brag sheets now. Now we have brag bodies, and then we also have brag friends, so it's good. Chidima, thanks for that tip. So now we're going to choose, I want to see in the chat room, what are you choosing to challenge in the next 365 days? Just comment in the chat room. I want to see your comments dropping in the chat room. So let's see. What are you going to choose to challenge? What are you going to choose to challenge? So let's keep it coming in. I'm seeing lots of comments already. Yeah, I'm waiting. Okay, I've learned something. People have X-ray visions. Oh, Begeli says, absolutely. Lillian says. So let's do a bit of introspective analysis. What are we going to choose to challenge in the next 365 days? Are we going to choose to challenge our mindset, the fixed mindset? Are we going to choose to, I'm going to choose to challenge my brag friends. We used to have brag friends. I don't know what happened to us. You know yourself, yeah. I don't know what happened to us. I think I'm going to choose to reactivate and challenge that group. So I think, so I choose to challenge my silence on the brag concept. I love that. Thank you. I'm choosing to challenge my brag friends. True. Thank you so much. We got modest. Yes, thank you so much, Ibuku. So I'm looking out for the others. I'm looking out for your comments. Are you still thinking? I'm sure that you already know what you want to challenge. I'm choosing to challenge my, okay, I've seen that. So a lot of people are choosing to challenge their brag friends. So when you choose to challenge, the next step you want to do is to choose a body. Now, the truth is that when I was sending out invitations to this conference or to this program, I actually told you not to come alone, invite a friend along. I know most of you might not have taken it serious, but that was why, this is the reason why I said it, because I want a session whereby you're going to choose to challenge yourself on one aspect of this all of this, and you're going to pick a body, someone you invited to this session, and that person will be your accountability body, someone that's going to help, that's going to remind you of what you have chosen to challenge yourself on. So that's actually the essence of this exercise. So I'm looking in, I'm trying to see if, oh, why is everybody quiet? I'm choosing to challenge my brag friends. Wendy says, thank you so much. Cynthia says, I'm choosing to challenge visibility at my workplace. Good. Everybody, I think everybody is aware of the fact that we need to be more visible. Nobody's going to brag about you more than yourself. Yeah, nobody's going to brag about you more than yourself. So I want to see, I know, okay, I'm waiting. Are we still thinking? So if you have your body here, the essence of you typing it in here is for your body to see it and remind you of what you have chosen to challenge. So when you are laid back, when you are not being visible as you should be, when you're not bragging as you should be, your body will remind you that, remember, you chose to challenge your brag. So remember, you chose to challenge to brag. Remember, you chose to challenge to challenge your brag sheet and challenge your brag. So that's the essence of this. So, but if, for instance, you have a body that wasn't here, and you would actually want the person to get to watch this, it's being recorded. You can send me a mail. I'll send the video to your body and let the body get to watch and understand what we're talking about here, so that you both can be on the same page. So I choose to challenge visibility at my workplace, says Lillian. If anyone says, I choose to challenge my network. Yeah, very, very important too. I choose to challenge to be visible. Ukamaka says, I will strive to be heard at the table. Thank you, Ukamaka. Hi, Ukamaka. Ukamaka is I think, yeah, the marketing manager at Sanofi. Ukamaka, am I right? I think that's Ukamaka. Thank you so much, Amaka, for joining in. I really appreciate you. Okay, so that's it. I'm choosing to challenge my brag friends. Thank you, Dupe. I can see that. Thank you so much. I choose to challenge my fears. Fatima says, I choose to challenge my fears. Good. I like that. I like that. Okay, so let's keep it coming in. Let's keep it coming in, and let us get our friends and our bodies to see it. So this challenge, this is actually what this is all about, getting to challenge ourselves. I choose to challenge myself to self-advocate more and take bold moves. Thank you, Abisola. Thank you very much, Abisola. I choose to challenge myself to self-advocate more and take bold moves. That's interesting. That's an interesting one. Thank you, Abisola. Thank you so much for that. So let's keep it coming as we go quickly into our game session. I promised that I was going to give some awards today. So what I'll do is I will quickly run through the game session. It's supposed to be 15 minutes, but we might not be able to go all 15 minutes. Let's do it for 5 minutes and call it a day. Wow, it's 8:35 already. Princess says, I choose to challenge intentional politicking at my workplace. Interesting. Chidima, you have really, really stirred some interesting interesting challenges for us today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's keep it coming in. So let's go into the game session. There's a little gift to be won. Yeah, it's a token, but I'm sure we'll all enjoy it. So let's go. The first game is actually it's fastest finger. That's the rule. Intentionality is key. Thank you so much, Chidima. So the first game is actually it goes like this. Oh, Wendy has to leave soon. Wendy, I understand. So let's play this game quickly and let's just get some winners and run off. I know we all have to go. There's work tomorrow. So the first game is the name 3 game. So I mentioned a category. So I'm looking at the chat room now. We are ready to play the game. It's just very brief. It's going to take us 5 minutes and we're done. So I mentioned a category and you mentioned 3 items or 3 words that belong to that category. The fastest finger. So the first person to mention is the winner, and then we'll go to the next game. So I can see Nina smiling. Nina loves games. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the first category I'll be mentioning are female shoe brands. Time starts now. Female shoe brands. So mention 3 words, 3 items, or 3 brands, female shoe brands that you know. Fastest finger. Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, Ifeinwa. So is Ifeanyi correct? I think Ifeanyi is the winner for this one. New look. Oh, good. Ifeanyi, man, you know me, don't worry, I'm not good with this. But I know Louis Vuitton and I know M&K, but Manolos, I don't know that one. Ifeanyi, please. Yeah. Ifeanyi won this one. Ifeanyi are the winner. So I'm declaring Ifeanyi is the winner to this game. Let's a round of applause for Ifeanyi. Thank you so much for being the fastest finger. So yeah, let's go to the next games very quickly too. Four-letter word. So I define the word. Let me see. Oh, I've closed up my words. Let me open up the words. So I define the word, and once I define the word, you're going to tell me what word it is. Are you guys ready? It's a four-letter word. Sorry. Okay. So I'll define the word, and you tell me what the word is. Okay. I think I closed this up. So let me go to. We'll come back to that game. Don't worry, we'll come back to that game. So let's play this game before that. Let's play this one first. I closed where I had the definitions. So I'm opening it up. How many words can you find in this word? So I mention a word and you write how many words you can find in that word. The person who finds the most words in a word is the winner of the game. Is that cool? So inequality is the word. How many words can you find in inequality? You have to use the same alphabet in inequality. You must ignore additional alphabets. All the alphabets, you need to maximize those alphabets and form different words. So how many words can you form using the alphabet in inequality? The person who finds the most number of words is the winner of the game. Wow, what's happened? Oh, the responses. How come I can't see the response? Oh, what's happening? Okay. Oh, no, you're supposed to. Yeah, let's just read what we have. We have. I hope I'm not missing anybody's own. Okay. No more entries, please. Okay, we have. Obegali says in equal quality and in equal. In equal, is it a word? Is there a word like that? Cynthia says equality. Okay. Chema says, Precious says inequality. Inequality, you can't use inequality. It, lit. Nice. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 words, Precious. Chema says in, equal, light, quality, unequal, and it. Can you find unequal in inequality? Is there you there? There's only one you. I'm right? Yes, there's only one you. So Chema, one of your words have been disqualified already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 words. I think Choma has, who else? I need panel of judges, or someone should help me. I hope there's someone I'm seeing. Is there? Nina, help me. Am I missing someone?
There's more. Somebody has 7 actually.
Who has 7?
But they didn't list it out. Check. I think Chidima has 7. No. Ibuku has 6.
You have to list it out.
It's not listed out.
Okay, let me give another word. Since I don't think I defined the rules well. So
they said the rules, yeah.
Yes. So the next word, the essence, they're supposed to mention the words, not just tell me 7 words. How would I know you have 7 words? So I want you to mention the words just like they're doing. You need to list out the words. And then make sure that you're using the alphabets that you find in that word. Meaning that if you find only one U, you can only use one U in your new word. You can't use 2 U's. You're not, it has to be the alphabet you find in that word. You can't borrow alphabets from somewhere else. So I don't know if it's clear now. Is it clear? So let me give you another
Yeah,
word. It's clearer now. So you need to write out the words, and then you need to be able to write out the words, and don't borrow another alphabet. Use only the alphabet you find within that word. So let me give you another word. Gender. Gender. So let's see how many words you can find from gender. Bisola. Fastest finger. So I think here we'll have to have a time frame, because if I leave you, there's so many gurus here. If I leave you all, you'll get more and more words. So let me count from 10 to 1, 10 seconds, and then the best response, the highest number of response, is the winner. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up, time up, time up, time up, time up, time up. Okay, time up, Gifty. You're not time up, time up. Okay, so Gifty has 5 words I can see: end, gend, den, red, ned. Please, someone should help me confirm if gend and ned is a word, please. I want to be sure. Just help me confirm, Nina. Yeah, the English major. What gend and ned, are they words? Abisola says dear, end, need, den. Thank you, Abisola. That's 4 words from Abisola. Okay. Choma was the first to respond. Den, end, rend, red. Nina, is there a word like rend?
Yes.
Rend. Okay.
Yes.
How about gend?
It's gend. I'm checking. I don't think there's a word like gend. No.
Okay.
No.
Begeli says dear.
Nothing like gend.
Okay, dear. Let me see. Begeli says, sorry, let me open this up. Begeli says, okay, Begeli says, dear Jen and Jean. I like that. Jean, interesting. Begeli has 4 words. Choma has 4 words. If anyone has 4 words too, then red, ned, end. Thank you. Is ned a word? N-E-D. I think I see a lot of that here too. Then, dear, Jen, ned. So everyone has 4 words. Cynthia, you have 3 words because you can't use gender. It's part of the words. So end, rend. So only Jacqueline has 5 words. Interesting.
Wow.
Jacqueline has 5 words. End, dear, nerd, Dan, and Jean. Thank you so much. I think Jacqueline is the winner. Jacqueline
Jacqueline is the winner.
Round of applause for Jacqueline, please.
Chidima has 6.
Chidima has 6.
Who has 6?
I has 6.
Chidima.
Chidima just submitted. I didn't see Chidima's response.
No,
I said
no, it's up there. She didn't just submit. It's up there. She has 6.
Okay.
Oh.
Where's Chidima? It's not Chidima's on. They were asking whether that rend is a word.
Do you need glasses?
People should not do INEC. Count the votes very well.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, help me, please, help me. Where's Chidima's own?
After Jacqueline.
After Jacqueline, Chidima, hey, how come I didn't see too?
And all her
I
words.
Chidima's own. I missed Chidima's own too.
See now, it's not money me that missed it.
After Jacqueline,
after Cynthia,
then red.
After Cynthia, if you are going from down.
Okay, I can see Chidima. And then red, dear, rend, Jean. Okay, rend, is it a word? That's what I was asking.
Rend is a word. Yes, rend is a word. Yeah.
Chidima won. Interesting. Round of applause. But did Chidima submit on time?
She didn't submit on time. I didn't see her own. So disqualify her.
When I said time.
You want to disqualify me?
I know you cooperated there. You cooperated.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much.
No, you cannot disqualify Chidima.
Okay. I don't want the same corner. How can we panelists be winning the game? How will we now do it now? Chidima, think about it now.
Exactly. Think about it.
Panelists are disqualified.
No. From the outset, you did say panelists are excluded. You could have said it. So we always talk about be intentional, be clear in your communication. So we have to do it now. Chidima, are you with me here?
Yes, agreed. Panelists are exempted from playing this game, please. Thank you very much, panelists. You are exempted from
You're
playing
changing the rules at the end of the match.
So this is a new game now. It's a new game.
The new game.
Yes, this new game now.
Oh,
Panelists are exempted.
Oh man.
Okay, so the 4-letter word game. So I define a word.
Sorry,
and you give me the word.
Sorry, I have to sign out. It's hard fun. I would have loved to have stayed long enough, but man, I can't.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
All right, then. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
Bye, Wendy.
It was awesome having you on.
So the word, I'm defining a word. You're supposed to mention the word in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Anything more than 3 seconds, nah. So I'll define the word, a complete set of playing cards, the 4-letter word, fast. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nobody? Cards? No. Wrong, Cynthia. Nobody. So let me give another word. Fast. No. Wrong. Let me give another definition. So nobody got that one. Let me give you another definition. Okay. A small piece of food that you cut with your hands. A 4-letter word. A small piece of food that you cut with your hands or with your teeth. Lillian, lump. Lump. No. So the first word was deck. The first word was bite. Gifty won it. Bite. I'm sure when I said teeth, I gave Gifty won. Gifty was the first to come in.
Okay.
From end. I don't know what happened in your end. My end, Gifty came in first. Okay, so yeah, I think I gave you a hint when I said with your teeth. Okay, so let's just do one more word. To ask God for God's protection over someone or something. A 4-letter word. Fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pray. Can you imagine? No, it's not actually pray. It's not actually pray. Can you imagine? Okay. Yeah, it could be pray. But I actually had bless in mind. Thank you so much, guys. It's fun playing. So who won this game? Let me see. Who won? Gifty won the 3rd game. Yes, Gifty is the winner for the 3rd game. So we have 3 winners today. We're celebrating 3 of you. If anyway, you won the first one, right? Let me not forget to.
Please don't forget, I did.
If anyway, Chidima and Gifty. Thank you so much, guys.
Check again. I see Cynthia here saying she won.
Oh no, it's me. Cynthia, you won. Which one did you win? The second game?
No, this last one.
Which of the games? This last one. Okay, card. Okay, which one? Cynthia, maybe you should clarify. Cynthia, can you unmute and clarify? Which one are you talking about? Okay, you won the last one, pray. Oh, okay. Actually, I had bless in mind. Abiola was actually...
Yes, this last one, I'm the first person. Bless is not...
I had bless in mind, actually. So that was actually what I had in mind when I was drafting that.
Yeah, but bless is not... Bless is not 4-letter word, so it shouldn't come in. It's 5-letter word, and you said 4-letter, yes.
That's true. You see?
So you actually
you see? That okay, that's true.
What I was saying, that is a 5-letter word.
That's true.
Thank you, Cynthia, for being visible, for speaking up. Thank you, Cynthia.
Yes, so Cynthia. So okay,
yes.
Cynthia, I would list of winners.
Yeah.
You also get a gift. Cynthia, you also
I challenge myself.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
Thank
Cynthia.
you.
So thank you so much, ladies. It was nice hanging out with you all. I enjoyed every bit of this. And we're going to do this same time again next year. This time around, please promise me you will not come alone, please. You know, we're choosing to challenge each other. We're choosing to challenge ourselves. We're choosing to challenge our colleagues. We're choosing to challenge all women around us. So please, promise me you will not come alone next year. Thank you so much, ladies. Bye. Have a great week. Let me leave you all to go and prepare for the week. So let's say goodbye in our native dialect. That's how we do it here. So say goodbye, say good night in your native language. Kachifonu. Kachifonu.
Kachifa.
Voice.